taking the top off. Watson left at the top, alone. Rogers gonna go to the middle of the field. Look at it, intercepted. Right by Blankenship. You've sunk my Blankenship.
For rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Miss golf during the off-season? Of course you do. So head to the Leduc Golf Club and try their state-of-the-art golf simulators. Perfect your swing, enjoy delicious food and beverages, and even book a lesson with one of the Leduc Golf Club pros. Whether you're a seasoned golfer or just starting, the Leduc Golf Club simulators offer a great way to keep your game sharp any time of the year. Call or visit the Leduc Golf Club today to book your spot and swing into action all year round.
I've been job hunting for months, but skills for the jobs I want. I've been job hunting for months, and with the help of Work First Alberta, I got hired.
Work First Alberta can help.
His second goal of
The Jason Gregor Show.
beaten off the draw by Drury. Dreiser, a terrific keep, crosses to McDavid, shooting.
On Sports 1440.
Rogers gonna go to the middle of the field. Look, it's intercepted. Right by Blankenship. You've sunk my Blankenship.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Down to the final 5:35 of period at number 3. Avs make the steal into the slot shot. Score! Jack Drury, his second goal of the game, his third of the season. And the Avs have made it a 9-1. Get the way out of the zone it comes. Down to the final 5:35.
Afternoon. Welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Always brought to you by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Use the promo code Gregor50 and you get a free $50 play when you make a $50 deposit at PlayAlberta.ca. As the Edmonton Oilers on a rare Monday night, and I know many of you, just so you know, this is a prime game, so it's not on your regular Sportsnet. You need Prime, or you won't be watching. Now, some of you are like, couldn't you have done this last game? That would have been the game I would have liked not to have watched and had to sit through, because that was, how would you say, ugly. But it was not good at all for the Edmonton Oilers, and we'll see. Well, can it be worse? It can always be worse. I think that's something. It can't get worse. Are you sure? Right. As I mentioned on Low Tie Show earlier, I spoke to one of my buddies who's a recovering alcoholic. And he said, you know how many times people told me, oh, this is rock bottom? They were wrong. It can always get worse if you allow it to get worse. And the only time it gets better is if you made a concerted effort to get better. And so in the case of the Oilers, work harder, work smarter, be more consistent, make more saves, make better defensive reads, actually get somebody in front of the net, try a net front presence, right? That's what you got to do. You can't just expect, oh, we'll show up, we're going to put our skates on, and you know what? Eventually we'll win. Because that's the attitude of a team that's never going to win. So the Oilers got to work smarter. They got to be harder to play against. And, you know, one game, they could play well tonight against Columbus. Great. That's one game. Then they're going to have to do it again. And again, they've dug themselves a hole, as they have in each of the previous few seasons. They were able to climb out of that hole. And so that's a good quality trait that they have the ability to get back in games. But now we got to see they can actually get back in games. So we'll find out as we welcome to the show, Sean Brown. We got a loaded show for you, by the way, today. Sean Brown's going to join us. Kevin Woodley coming up in the first hour. John Hodge will set up the Grey Cup. The Alouettes and the Rough Riders will go at it this weekend. Strutty will be by because, of course, we are off tomorrow. We'll have Steve Mears talking some Columbus Blue Jackets. Stevie won't even know who their lineup is, I don't think, until game time because the Blue Jackets, they got a lot of illness going around. They had like 4 forwards not even on the ice for the morning skate today. We'll hear from Speck later on. We got the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate. We'll take your texts, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. So we welcome in Sean Brown to the show. What was the worst game you ever lost in your career, Brownie?
Oh, the worst game that I've ever lost? Probably early in my first year pro in Hamilton. In the minors, we were playing the Syracuse Crunch, and we had a really tough team. Like, you know, we had Bonvie, we had LaRock, Jason Bowen, Terran Sandwith, Scott Ferguson, and we had Lorne Mulliken as a coach, and he was a tough coach, and he loved fighting. He loved an aggressive style, and so we were young and we were struggling, and we went in there, and you know, we had lost, I don't know, to that point probably 3 or 4 games, and we wind up getting in a whole bunch of fights, and I was kind of expecting at the end of the game Lorne to come in and kind of rip us a new one, because it was, like I said, it was probably our 4th or 5th loss in a row. And he came in after a whole bunch of fights. We were down a bunch of guys on the bench, and he came in and he was like, well, you know, we might have lost the game, but we won the war, you know? And I was just kind of like, is this, and my first year in the minors was tough. Like, it was eye-opening to see the difference between major, junior to pro. And I just remember thinking, like, wow, like I just thought there was going to be a little bit more about the win than the actual fighting.
Yeah.
But that was a tough one, because, you know, you're in those games, and I was at the Oiler game, you know, against Colorado, and it's flat, and there's nothing going on. There's nothing you can do. There's not a crack big enough that you can kind of hide in. So it's a bad feeling for sure.
Well, and you mentioned there's not, you know, like right now the Oilers, and you can crunch all the numbers, and I think it's a mistake to want to pinpoint one player and think, oh, you know what? Oh, it's the goaltending. Yeah. Oh, it's Darnell Nurse. Oh, it's Trent Frederick. And I'm just like, you're giving way too many free passes. It is everybody except maybe the guy who's not playing tonight, Nugent Hopkins. He's probably their most consistent forward. And now he's out for at least a week, maybe more. So I look at the Oilers, and I'm like, they got to play way better at every facet of this game. Right, it's not just your goaltender, because up until the 9 goals against, your goalie save percentage was actually okay, and your goals against average was fine. Obviously, one game out of when you give up that many, it can change it. But like, their shooting percentage is one of the worst in the NHL, has been all year long. They're one of only 3 teams only have, like, you got Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl on your team, and they're 121st and like 129th in 5-on-5 scoring in the league. Right, so don't. And by the way, they've played the most minutes of any 2 forwards in the NHL 5-on-5. So you know, there's lots of blame to go around, and that's probably better in a way, because there's very few guys can go home and look and say, well, geez, I'm playing well. Because sometimes you are playing well and the team's not playing well. And you're like, yeah, I'm mad about the team losing, but I'm actually pretty happy with my game.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of guys who can be happy with their game right now.
I would probably throw Podkolzin in there too. Nuge. I really
Yeah,
like
he's been all right,
Podkolzin's
yeah.
game, right? He's playing with, I mean, I think he's just playing to his identity is what I like about him, right? He's just, I mean, he looks like he's actually got more confidence and kind of elevated his game from last year. It's still growing, which is good to see. But yeah, I mean, it's a team sport, so everybody's got to take the blame here. You know, it's tough. I would love to know what the pattern or why the Oilers just seem to find themselves in this situation, and they seem to just get to the point where, you know, the media obviously have to do their job and come in there and ask the tough questions, and it's awkward. And trust me, there's no worse place to be, you know, is in a dressing room or at a rink when you're losing. Like, it's not fun for anyone. And, you know, it gets to the point where the players kind of get their back up against the wall and get, you know, had enough and get pissed off at everything kind of going on around them with the tough questions and having to face the media. And they kind of almost rally, you know, in the past have kind of rallied around that as a group and kind of found their way out of this, out of slumps. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, when you see a bunch of guys not playing completely to their identity. And the one thing, like when I was at the game, and you know as well as I know, Oiler fans, like, they know you're not going to have your game and they know you're not going to win all the time. But, you know, this is a hard working town, right? And if you just go out there and you grind and muck and put your best foot forward as far as, you know, playing the ugly side of the game, like, the fans will accept that. They don't accept, you know, that goes a long way with these fans here. So, you know, the fact that there was no pushback, no emotion, man, that was hard to see. I think it was just an opportunity for some guys to kind of take advantage of what they bring to the team, you know, in a different way, to kind of show that, you know, we're not just going to kind of wait for McDavid and Draisaitl to do their thing.
Yeah, well, there's lots of guys who got to play better, and, you know, we'll see. It is you. Do I assume they'll come out stronger tonight? Yes, I think they'll come out stronger. Now, will it last? Will the opposing team just say, "Oh, Edmonton's coming out strong tonight"? I guess we can't win. It's not how it works in the NHL, right? So, Edmonton can come out stronger, great. But what happens when they have some adversity? Because, you know, this season, funny enough, I actually thought the Oilers have put themselves in position to win more games than they have, and then they've cost themselves games. Like, they've blown 6 multi-goal leads. 2 of them they recovered to win in overtime, but the other 4 they didn't. And obviously, the Saturday game, to me, Saturday's game, all it did was it's like when, you know, in our society, there's a lot of self-consciousness around being naked. People are like, oh, geez, you know, I want someone to see me naked here, right? Like, oh, I could never go to a nudist beach. You go down the list of stuff like that. Like, being naked is somehow it's the worst thing, even though everybody has the same body. It might look a little bit different. There's endos, there's ectos, taller, frumpy, fat, skinny, whatever, right? But eventually all those parts are the same, right? And if you're a guy, these are your parts. If you're a girl, those are your parts, and kind of away you go. And that game exposed every wart and every weakness of the team in one fell swoop. There was nobody that could hide. Oh, 5-on-5 scoring? Yeah, terrible. Defensive play? Yeah, terrible. Goaltending? Yeah, terrible. Well, for a rare game, power play? Yeah, terrible. Was there any emotion? Was there any physicality? Nope, terrible. So all of it in one fell swoop, and everybody's exposed. And so now we'll see if all the different areas and what your role is, who comes to play their role. Because there are not everybody's going to be a scorer. It can't just be scorers. There's different roles that you have to do. And I'm kind of curious to see this week, not tonight. I say this week. And you know, Leon Draisaitl, we might get his quote from Connor. I don't know if he has it up yet, but he talked about how you don't need everybody playing their best game now. It's not even the right time to do it. Number one, it's not plausible. But you need most guys to have their B+ game. And then every few games, somebody's going to have their A game. And it's going to rotate. Not everybody's going to have their A game every night. You played. It's impossible. I don't have my A game at work every day. No one, people listening don't. It's impossible. But if most of your team, everybody should have their B+ game most times. Then you got a chance to win and come together as a team. And I'm telling you, there's maybe if you want to say Podkolzin, B+ game most nights. Okay. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, B+ game most nights. Who else? Jack Rossovic, probably after the first 3 games of getting in shape. I would say him. I can't say anybody else. That's 3 guys out of 18 skaters and a goalie who I would say have their B+ game most nights, and that's their problem right now.
Well, and I think too, like there's certain games that you get excited for, and when Colorado comes in with their lineup and their roster and the star power that they have, I mean, who wasn't excited to have the opportunity to go to a game like that? Because you were expecting, I think we were all expecting, a close game, an intense game, skill, grit. It's going to have everything, that you would want in a game. And I actually thought it didn't, start off that bad. I actually really liked the fact that McDavid and Draisaitl, the touches that they got early, it looked like they were going to be feeling it. And then it just obviously evaporated. But yeah, I mean, it's not every game is going to be exactly, the way you want it to go, but your ability to grind through it and find different ways to kind of get involved. I mean, the Oilers, I mean, to me, they're a very, reactionary team, like they don't, to me, seem like they go out there and really grab it and really, get in, in goalies' faces and understand what maybe the next shift needs. Cause that's what I always look for, right? In their third, fourth line, like, after a goal, whether they get one or they give one up, who are the next guys? Who's going to keep that momentum going? And what type of shift are they going to play? And I think there's just kind of an identity crisis in the third, fourth line. Like I just, when you're looking for that spark when you need it, who's giving it to you? Right. It's just so many. I mean, I just think throughout the years, it's just, let's sit back and watch McDavid and Draisaitl drag us through the mud and drag us into it with their skill. And because they're so, they're such good players. But, the other side of the game where do they have the heaviness? Do they have enough guys that are just comfortable, within their role and willing to do, willing to play that hard, aggressive game? And I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, at what point was, we all heard the interview with the coach there, Knobloch, when, he was asked the question about the goaltending, and he kind of paused a little bit, right? I mean, at some point, do you start calling guys out individually? I'm not sure, but, it is early.
Like Skinner, the second goal wasn't good. I would agree with that. I don't have a problem with the second
I don't think
goal.
he was great either, but I just think when guys aren't great around him, like,
well, that's what
no one can look good. I don't care who you have in
That's
there.
what I said. Like, you look at Skinner, the second goal, and it's 2-0, and then he stones McKinnon on a 5-on-3 late in the third out of the first, and then he robs Lehkonen right away to start the second period. Yeah. Your goalie just made 2 massive saves. Your team is stunk. Yeah, he let in a bad goal. We all agree with it. What else are you doing to get back in the game? Because they did nothing else, right? Like Kevin Woodley sent me a note about the Oilers' expected goals. Like Calvin Pickard's numbers are terrible, and I get it. But his expected goals, so even if he was playing, and if he's supposed to make all the saves, and this is just a formula, it's not 100%, but his expected save percentage is .860 because the Oilers are leaking chances all over. Right? .860. Well, unless your goalie's Vasilevsky or a superstar, guess what? You're not winning a lot of games that way. So I know it's always easy to want, okay, let's find a scapegoat. Who's the scapegoat tonight, right? We lost 9-1, but let's blame the one goalie because the second goal was bad.
Yeah.
Not the other 8 goals, and not the fact that the Oilers, did nothing offensively, right? So I'll be curious how they react. Now, that being said, Stuart Skinner, to me, has still got to play better. Yeah. I don't discount it for a second. But as I've said all along, people will say on one side of their mouth, Stuart Skinner isn't any good. And then on the other side say, I can't believe he's not carrying the team. Can't have it both ways. He's not that goalie. He's a middle tier goalie. That's what he is. That's how your team's built, right? There's a few rare teams that get everything. They get an elite goalie, an elite defense, an elite forward. Doesn't happen very often. And when you do, then your chances of winning are pretty good. But those teams are incredibly rare. But guess what? Teams have won without having all 3.
Yeah.
And that's where the Oilers are at.
And I'm interested to see, I mean, when you're losing like that, it's just such an opportunity for some of the depth guys to step up and grab a role and show the coach and management that, hey, you know what, I'm going to, find a way to get in the good books, build a little, some confidence and lengthen my rope a little bit. Like those are perfect opportunities for the third and fourth line guys. I mean, I think Lazar's in there tonight. He's another guy that's, with guys getting healthy and coming back, they're going to have to obviously make some roster some roster moves, but these are some opportunities for guys right now to get into the lineup because they're lacking some physicality and an area in their game that they need, that they can now solidify themselves as, maybe an everyday player, a guy that's not in and out of the lineup, and maybe, in the future, everyone's in the situation. Every GM's calling, every GM's trying to make their team stronger and better. Right. So those windows of opportunity for guys to prove that, hey, I'm an NHL player and I belong here. You don't have to look around. That's kind of what I'm seeing. And that's what I look for tonight is what's the answer? What does Frederick do? What does Nurse do? What do some of those role guys do? Because, that I think the first period, the first 10 minutes, if they don't come out hitting and aggressive, man, you start to wonder. I know they like each other, but how much do they really like each other?
Well, and me being said, what about McDavid and Draisaitl 5-on-5? They've done nothing. Let's call spade a spade here. They've done nothing. And I know everybody's scared to want to admit that they got to be better. They play the most minutes of any forward in the NHL 5-on-5. And they're 120th and 126th. So if we want to say Frederick's got to be more physical, I agree. But it's okay to say David and Draisaitl 5-on-5 have been below average, not even average, below average.
Yeah. But they also need guys, along with Stuart Skinner and the goaltending, they also need guys to give them energy too. I don't know. I agree. I don't think no one gets a free pass, but there's got to be some other guys that, have to find a way that they can contribute in some way. There's
I don't so much count that, but their contribution is still coming below. If your leaders aren't leading, you don't win, Brownie. You don't win. Yeah. That's just the truth. Name a team that wins when their best guys aren't their best guys.
Yeah. But they got to be able to play another style of game when you don't have it. They got one game. If they're, they're off the rush, they're a skilled team, but do you not have to have other sides to your game to be successful? It's an 82 game schedule.
That is a very valid point, and something that we will discuss when we return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's AquaCentral reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better and on the rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts, and play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocks.yeg.com.
Well, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
Get Black Friday prices now at The Brick. Skip the line and save big. Get 65% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching Love Cedar chair. Plus, get up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. And buy more, save more. Get up to an extra $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Mattresses are up to 40% off. And with every mattress purchase, you're entered for a chance to win a cruise. Some exclusions apply. See in-store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
When you have lifting and material handling needs, Northwest Crane delivers. Western Canada's Sandy dealer, backed by the industry's toughest one. 3 years, 3,000 hours, no compromises. They service all crane makes and models with skilled technicians and deep industry expertise. Alberta owned, with locations in Leduc and Grand Prairie, and fully equipped service trucks. Northwest Crane keeps your operation lifting. For more information on sales or service, visit northwestcrane.com. or call today.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Hi, Mike here from Northgate Chevrolet Buick GMC. Snow, colder weather, shorter days. November is officially here. But it doesn't all have to be bad news. If you're thinking about a new or used vehicle, now is the time. Massive savings, 0% financing, and don't forget tires at cost. Yes, that's right. We sell winter tires at cost. There's lots to celebrate in November. And as always, we'd like to thank all of those who have fought and served for our country. Stop in and see us today, 13215 97th Street, or visit us online at northgategm.com.
You're in Northgate country.
Hand delivering a hamper to a family in need fills everyone's hearts with joy. Be part of the Holiday Hamper program. Adopt a local family and see the difference your groceries and gifts make firsthand. Sign up today at holidayhamper.ca.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Stradlin. How would you like to join me and the superstars of hockey on an exotic holiday? Join us on a 7-night cruise through the Mexican Riviera, leaving from Los Angeles and including Cabo, Mazatlan, Puerto Vallarta, and more. While we relax and cruise the tropical waters, you can attend an intimate meet and greet with legends like Bill Ranford, Fernando Pisani, Kelly Buckberger, Ron Lowe, Gene Principe, Jack Michaels, Louis DeBrusque, and more. There's still time to get in on every hockey fan's dream cruise. Book now and save $500 per couple. The Edmonton Hockey Legends Cruise. Price start at just $23.99. Part of the proceeds support the Ben Stelter Foundation and Kids with Cancer.
Visit cast.tours/Edmonton. Call 1-833-347-7678. Call now to book and save $500 per cabin when you mention promo code Stingray Radio. That's cast.tours, 1-833-347-7678.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440. It's brought to you by Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Crystal Glass, your clear choice for residential windows, locally manufactured and installed. Crystal Glass provides a beautiful product and incredible customer services for all of your residential needs. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca for a quote.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$225. Welcome back. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Text us in our email inbox is the Gregor Show, as always. Brought to you by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca. The Edmonton Oilers, a little earlier start, although for many of you, unless you got Prime, it's a rare Monday game that is not on TV. Don't shoot in the messenger. That's just that's the deal. So there you go. Some of you might be happy for a night off. Now, can it be 9-1 again? I guess it's plausible, but it is unlikely when you consider there hasn't been many losses in the history of the Oilers that were as bad. It's the worst, tied for the worst home loss of 8-goal differential. They lost to Buffalo 10-2 back in 2009 after earlier that season losing 9-2 to the Chicago Blackhawks. So there's been a few tough nights, no question. The worst franchise loss, of course, was also the year they won their first Stanley Cup, 11-0 to the Hartford Whalers. And the Oilers, I think that was the final. I think they'd lost all 5 games in the road trip, and it was just a final game, brutal one. I remember Dave Lumley coming on our show, and he had taken like 4 penalties. Oh, no, he took a major penalty. And they scored like 4 goals on the major penalty, and he's in the penalty, and they're playing the Brass Bonanza, and he was just losing his mind by the third time. He's just like, this is the worst. So, hey, bad losses will happen, and we'll see how the Oilers respond, not just tonight. For me, it's got to be how they respond over the next week or few weeks to get their game back to a more consistent level. And we're going to get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Summit Restaurant, located in the heart of Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common. Summit is your destination for exceptional homemade pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Check it out. Silent Ice Center on the south side. And Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine is going to join us momentarily. We're going to talk about the orders. We're going to talk about Columbus. The one thing the Columbus Blue Jackets, their goaltenders being pretty solid. The Blue Jackets as a team are dead last in the NHL. They've allowed the most shots on goal per game at 32.7 per game. There's only 8 teams that allow even 30 shots per game. The Blue Jackets are 32. So we'll see can the Edmonton Oilers get some shots on goal, and more importantly, can they get some shots? Now the Blue Jackets, they also have the 3rd most shots on goal, so they are high. There's a lot going on in the Blue Jackets game, despite them not taking many penalties and not getting many power plays. They're near the bottom of it. So there's a lot of 5-on-5 action, and they've actually been very good 5-on-5. They've outscored teams 5-on-5 +5, but they're getting murdered on special teams. So that's been their downfall. As Kevin Woodley joins us. Woodley, how you doing?
I'm good. I have a friend with me in the back of the car, my dog. I'm at the vet, so I apologize for being a little late here. The appointment didn't go as planned, so not in a bad
How's the
way,
dog? What's going on?
Where is she? She's got a tooth issue. She's hiding back here. She just wants to look outside.
Yeah. She's just like, give me outside, Dad.
Exactly.
Did you get the tooth pulled?
No, that's coming, which also comes with a bill. Not quite as much as the time I had mine knocked out by a slap shot off the mask, but it's not going to be cheap. So we love our pets, but so I apologize, boys. It's just been things got a little wonky here today.
Oh, hey, buddy, that's all good. Well, kind of like the Oilers fans know a little bit about wonky after Saturday night. That was not pretty for them. You were telling me some numbers about, like, explain expected goals and kind of how that formula works for a goal, because it kind of explains what the environment in front of the goalie is.
Yeah, I mean, I like expected save percentage for the goalie. I think that, I mean, on a per game, at the end of the day, if you're measuring things on a per game basis, you're talking about tiny samples, and the reality is even high danger chances. They all have different values. So, like, for example, like one of the highest danger values that we have right now, and this is actually, we've talked about this before, something the Oilers used to do exceptionally on the power play with Leon sort of parked off to the bottom of the left circle, is a pass off a rebound. Like a pass off a rebound goes in 65% of the time. So if you create 2 passes off rebounds in a game, it's not just that you have 2 high danger chances, but you've got 0.65 of a goal each time. So they add up to 1.3. So 2 of those should be 1.3 expected goals. So that, in a nutshell, is how it works. I prefer save in small samples to look at expected save percentage from the goalie perspective, because now you're talking about you're getting a picture not just of the goals, but of the environment. Like if it's really low, it's a tougher environment. Calvin Pickard, we talked about this last year, like one of the highest expected save percentages in the league, around 902. This year it's at 865. So, that's low. Like your numbers are going to come down. Your raw numbers are going to come down anytime your environment gets that much harder. But 865 is like that's bad. That's bad. I'm supposed to be a writer. I'm out of adjectives for that one. But the best example I can give you is Eric Comrie. Eric Comrie in Buffalo 3 seasons ago now had a 858 expected save percentage. And then he went through waivers a couple of times. He was the 3rd goalie there. They'd play him in the worst games. They'd get shelled. They'd get caved in. And he always seemed to be in net for those nights. And people around the league were just like, he's not an NHL goalie. Like, literally, they wouldn't claim him off waivers. He's not an NHL goalie. In Winnipeg, with an expected closer to 900, he looks just fine as an NHL goalie. Last night in Anaheim, notwithstanding, they're doing that to a bunch of teams, especially Leo Carlsson. But, like, he's been fine over the last 2 years. And that's the type of environment that we're talking about for Calvin Pickard this year. And, again, back to the same point we've made over the years. This is not a team that's supposed to be built to win on its goaltending. But when you're giving your goalies an 865 expected, you're asking them to stop bullets in their teeth. And that's not how this team is built.
What's Skinner's expected, by the way? Do you know?
I do. This is a little tougher in the car today, so give me 1 second. It's higher. And again, small sample, so you can see quite a bit of discrepancy in this. He's closer to league average, around 890. So, right around league average, not outstanding. It was the reverse last year, right? Like he was in the 880s and Pickard was around 900. This year, Pickard's getting either the tougher starts or whatever reason, not getting the results in front of him defensively. And his environment has been much tougher overall. Again, small sample, right? Like have a couple games where the team buckles down defensively and that number can change in a hurry.
Kevin, you talked about Leon Draisaitl shooting from different areas and goalies giving up rebounds. And we all know that if you come down on a goalie and you shoot the puck in a certain area of the pad, the lower part of the pad, it's going to kick out a rebound. Like, I guess from a goalie's perspective, we know that as a player. What do you do as a goalie? Like, is there anything you can do, or is it something you can do with your stick to maybe redirect it or an angle of the pad? Because I'm assuming if we know that, a goalie knows that as well.
Yeah, and so it all depends on where the shot's coming from, Sean. Like if we're talking like down the wing outside, you should be able to control that, ideally with your stick. And this is one of the criticisms that I heard, even in the draft on Yaroslav Askarov, right? Like he used his pads so much and didn't activate his stick. It wasn't that he had bad hands in terms of saving pucks with his blocker or glove. It's that he didn't use his blocker hand to activate his stick. And if you're kicking pucks, just the natural shape of the pad, chances are they're going back into the middle on shots off the wing. And watch for this tonight, because like Kirill Marchenko and Voronkov are just playing video games out there. Like as a goalie, watching them here on Saturday night against Columbus and Vancouver, and they had 10 high danger chances. There were a few rushes for Marchenko that basically had me in the fetal position up in the press box. He was putting moves on guys, but there was also a pass off pads, very clearly deliberate off the rush where they go off Lankinen's right pad and Marchenko comes in and cleans up the rebound. And so like you could see it from a million miles away that that's exactly what he was trying to do off that rush. He didn't have a chance to score. He put the rebound in a spot where his line mate could. As a goalie, you're trying to get a stick on it. It gets tougher if they get it off the ice, like 4 inches. The blade of a stick is only 4 inches tall. So if they get it 8 inches off the ice, it's a lot harder puck to control as a goaltender. And then the other thing, if you get into a high danger area as the original shooter, and Voronkov was in a pretty good spot against Lankin the other night here and against Vancouver, you get to a point where you're just trying to make the first save. Obviously, you want to control it as much as you can, but there's that fine line between like trying to be perfect and just trying to stop it. A narrower butterfly, if you don't kick the leg out, if you sort of push with your knee and sort of instead of having the pad flushed and square to the middle of the ice, a little bit narrower and pushing out, man, if you miss, it looks bad, it can go in. But if you get it that way, it pushes it into the corner instead of back out into the middle. Obviously, as you said, using the stick and just putting yourself in a position deeper in the net where Lankinen was aggressive on that rush. And so he didn't have a chance to recover across. You make that save 2 feet further back in your crease, and you're no longer having to dive, it's something we've talked about with Stu. You're no longer having to dive head first across it on the second chance. If it's off the rush, like outside on the wings, I've seen goalies practice taking a shot off their, let's say coming down the right wing, and you shoot it off their inside pad, which is their right pad. There are goalies that are actually can get good enough at it on a low shot to take the boot of the pad. So the part that's just over the top of the skate, and actually instead of hitting it with the top part of the pad that puts it in the middle, have it hit the boot and kick right back towards the shooter. Like keep it on the same side of the rebound. I've seen goalies work on that. But again, that's got to be sort of a shot really off the wing, low danger along the ice. As soon as you get into dangerous areas, your instinct is just make that first save as opposed to, boy, I've got time here to process this and make sure I control this rebound perfectly.
Kevin Woodley from InGoal Magazine, NHL.com joins us. Jet Greaves is going to start tonight. Him and Merzlikins have basically split even 50-50, 7 starts each. They faced the most shots of any goaltending tandem. And shots doesn't always mean great scoring chances at all, but their penalty kill numbers are brutal as a team, Kevin. And a lot of times people will tell you your goalie's got to be your best penalty killer in situations because you're going to have good looks. It's just a fact. It's 5-on-4. What do you make of the Blue Jackets 5-on-5 numbers that are pretty good, but their special teams both? And so I want to talk maybe more about their PK, but their PK numbers are just awful.
Yeah, and their goalies have actually been really good. Now they're both, each of them, Greaves and Merzlikins, are coming off probably, I don't know if it's their worst performance of the year, but down performances, right? Like Greaves in Calgary on Kadri's 1,000 game night, and Merzlikins here, like the one that goes in. I mean, it's Brock Besser from the dot, and elite shooters can pick spots, but it looked tough because it goes off. 5 minutes left in the game in a 3-3 game. It goes off the glove, off the shoulder, and trickles into the net. Their PK numbers obviously aren't good overall. Their PK numbers in terms of, underlying the quality that those guys are facing, 26th in the league, or sorry, 32nd in the league. So dead last in terms of what they're giving up. This isn't the goalies not bailing out a decent penalty kill. This is the worst penalty kill in the league, asking too much of its goaltenders. And like I said, like even with below the high standards they've set, quality starts the last time out, these are still two goalies who, if you filter it for goalies that have seen at least 100 chances on the season, Merzlikins is easily inside the top 10 and Greaves isn't far behind him. And again, not just on the PK, but overall, their expected save percentage is well below the league average. Merzlikins is 880, Greaves is 885. They're both outperforming it by a significant margin. As a matter of fact, like, it's not going to happen because he doesn't have enough experience and he hasn't been in the playoffs in the National Hockey League. But when you look at, the list of Canadian goaltenders, like number 1 is Logan Thompson. Number 2 is Jet Greaves right now. And every time this kid's been in the NHL, he's had success. He's learning how to do it on a night in, night out basis. I think it's a good partnership because he doesn't have to be the every night guy, going back and forth with him and Merzlikins. And he's been like, he's been what he's been in the past. Like every time he's up here, he just outperforms his environment. And there's a few things I'm watching in that regard, not just the Olympics, because I do think that's a real long shot, but also like, here's another 6-footer. Here's another 6-foot goalie in an era where we keep talking about the 6'5" goalies who can skate, who can move in a game that is so dynamic transitionally in East-West. Those guys that can move, that can skate, I don't care if they're not 6'5", they're having success. And a lot of them are near the top. Like the guys up near the top of the NHL are largely guys who are 6'1", 6'2", 6 foot, not 6'5", 6'6", 6'7". It's really interesting to see this trend. And something I've been watching for a while, and Greaves is continuing to sort of build the case that it's something other teams should maybe be watching for as well.
Kevin, I was curious to get your thoughts. I don't know if you've seen it, but the Montreal lost to New Jersey 4-3 in overtime, and the young goalie, Jacob Dobbs there, was quite emotional at the end of the game, quite upset with himself. It was his first loss. The amount of pressure that these guys put on themselves. Like, what are your thoughts as a goalie, a goalie coach, former goalie, when you see someone that upset? I mean, obviously nobody's going to be perfect, but how would you approach that maybe as a goalie coach?
Well, I mean, it's tough. Like, well, first off, those who can't do coach, those who can't do or coach, they talk about it on the radio. I am the latter. So, not a coach, definitely, but you do see that emotion on the sleeve. Like, at some level, you don't mind it, but you worry about at what point does it become too much, and you don't want to show it publicly, right? And Jakub Dobeš is a really young guy. He's had a really great season. His head coach has talked, I think probably leading up to that start, about how like Sam Montembeault is struggling, right? Like he's better than he has been this year, but the numbers are just not great right now. And yet the head coach is talking about he's our guy. He's a number 1 guy. So maybe Dobeš puts a little more pressure on himself, despite being 6-0 to start the season, to continue to be perfect. Those are things you have to worry about. Now, Jakub is emotional. There's that thing about liking to win or hating to lose. I think he might be a kid that hates to lose. As long as he doesn't take it into the next day, you can have a conversation about, hey, we don't want to show this too much. If you show emotion on the ice, then teams think they can get to you and get under your skin. Mm-hmm. But then the biggest thing would be, to me, does he reset by the next time he hits the ice? Not just even in a game, but the next morning when he comes into practice, or is he still being hard on himself? Because, man, this game is hard enough if you're not beating up on yourself as well. I do know he works with a goalie mindset guy. Actually, Pete Fry, the goalie mindset guy. It's like actually in his title. And he does a lot of visualization. We've talked to him about it. So he's very actively thinking about how he presents, how he manages his emotions, how he manages his reactions, how he resets within a game. He's got little triggers that help him get back and focus on the puck. He thinks about these things consciously. And if the emotion he's expressing is too much or goes outside of a comfort zone that they have, it will be addressed, talked about, and corrected.
All right. Kev, what about the Flyers goaltending, who the Oilers face on Wednesday?
I got to say, I was not convinced of their decision on Dan Vladar, to go pursue him as an unrestricted free agent. Tough environment for him in Calgary. We know they weren't a great team and they relied on exceptional goaltending to get through it. Dustin Wolf, we've talked about it before, how exceptional he was last year. Should have been the Vezina conversation. And that's what they needed. And so when Vladar would have to go in every 10 days or every 2 weeks, and they also gave him some really tough starts. But just looking at the numbers and the expected, like he was below. Like he would give them stretches, but at the end of the year, he was always below his environment. He was below expected. And so I wondered if he could be a guy that could carry the mail. And Philly clearly saw something, and so far they're right. Now, they've been a good defensive environment. Rick Tocchet in his first year, much like he was in Vancouver, has cleaned that up. So his expected is, 7 points above league average. But he's outperforming it at a level that puts him right up there with Thatcher Demko and Jet Greaves we just talked about, Freddie Anderson, Lucas Dostal. Like he is a top 10, for guys that have played as much as he has, goalie in the NHL right now. So Vladar's been really good. Sam Ersson, not so much, a little bit below expected. But again, small samples, much tougher environment, almost 20 points lower than his playing mate. So I don't know if that is the team not playing for him or in an early part of the season. Maybe he's getting the tough starts, the back-to-backs, the nights where the team is tired. For whatever reason, Ersson's had a tougher workload and hasn't lived up to it. Vladar has been exceptional in his minutes. So, if you're getting Vladar, you're getting the tougher of the two.
Okay. Yeah, we won't know obviously till later on in the week. Lastly, Spencer Knight is off to an unreal start. The Americans got pretty deep goaltending depth. Do you think Spencer Knight gets some consideration for Team USA Olympics?
Well, I mean, if we're going based on performance, he certainly should, right? Like this is a guy who's won World Juniors for them. He was in the National Hockey League at a really young age, straight out of college. Obviously had some hiccups in terms of needing to take some time away from the game, not related to the game. But here's the thing about Spencer. Like we talk about these numbers. When I watch Spencer Knight play, it's like a how-to video, right? Like the technical stuff is just bang on. And I know he works really hard on that aspect. And you're like, I could make a movie out of this and sell it to kids. This is how you should play the game. But the results haven't been there, even adjusting, and tough to go from Florida where they're a defensive wagon to Chicago last year where defense was an option, few exercised. So they're better this year defensively. This is the first year outside of the early start in Florida where the numbers really match the eye test. Okay. And so, he's got an athletic ability to make dynamic saves if you need them, but he's got a foundation where he's constantly putting himself in position to, even when he doesn't have time to react, he's there to get hit. There was a number of chances here against the Vancouver Canucks who just absolutely were all over them for 2 periods, 10 high danger through 2, couldn't beat Knight, losing the 3rd period. Bunch of stuff like low-high plays, pop passes from below the goal line, just above the crease. Evander Kane actually looks like he's starting to sort of find his form, and he got a number of chances in tight. And every time, Knight in and off his post, boom, perfect position, hits him in the shoulder, gets a piece of it with his elbow, combination of technique and reactivity. I love his game. Right now, amongst the Americans, like we all know who's going to be there in terms of Connor Halley. When I look down the list of adjusted save percentage, Spencer Knight is 6th in the National Hockey League right now, just a couple of spots behind Connor Halley. And for all the push for, Thatcher Demko here in Vancouver to be on that team, right now, Spencer Knight's outperforming him as well. So if there are question marks about who's going to be in that crease, at the very least, this young man warrants consideration. I think his age too, like if Hellebuck's your guy, like you got to look to the future too. And Spencer Knight's a guy who could be your guy in future years and might benefit from the experience.
Kev, great stuff, buddy. We hope your dog does well and the tooth removal goes okay as well. Appreciate your time.
I appreciate the patience, guys. She just got her head out the window here, so she's happy for now, and that's all that matters.
There you go. That's Kevin Woodley from In Goal Magazine and NHL.com. Quick break. We'll return. More on the orders. Also, it is championship week. We'll discuss it on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Mr. Rooter watches the big game.
Go deep! What you watching, Mr. Rooter? The Plumbing Olympics. Frankie Drain Dragon Sanchez is attempting to break the world record in the 100-meter snake. Watch! Wow! Did you see that? He snaked out a 50-pound clog. And in the middle of that wad, a gold medal. What theater?
Yeah, that's very cool, Mr. Rooter.
For a plumber who's good as gold, call Mr. Rooter.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order Oodle Noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. Poodle.ca. Poodle Noodle.
Actions speak louder than words. Japa Machinery Group puts your construction plan into action with XCMG construction machinery you need. Available for rental or sale. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
It's a new season, Edmonton, which means it's time for new offers. Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long. This is your chance to score big. And for a limited time only, our listeners can get an exclusive $50 free bet when they deposit $50 using code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for an exclusive $50 free bet. Alberta wins with Play Alberta. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, please use your game sense. PlayAlberta.ca.
60 years ago, we started selling trucks as Western GMC Buick. Today, we are Wolf GMC Buick. We're still located on the corner of 184th Street and Stony Plain Road with the same ownership for over 2 decades. Our customers have trusted our family-owned, community-driven business. And for that, we are thankful. If you're looking for a truck or SUV, pop in and one of our seasoned professionals will get you a great deal, hassle-free. Come trust our team at Wolf GMC Buick. Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
And here comes Action Electrical Service Team sprinting onto the scene. These are your first responders for any electrical emergency.
That's right. With their fleet of service vans and specialized gear, they assess, they service, and maintain electrical lighting and automation systems. They're all about rapid response.
Quick diagnostics and repairs to restore power and safety fast. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
I'm Grant Fedork from Leading Edge Physiotherapy, and people who suffer brain fog might think it's just going to be part of their life. But listen, I've seen a 38-year-old man managing a concussion read her kid a bedtime story without losing the plot, all because of cognitive rehab that rewires the brain like a GPS reboot. Your brain isn't broken, it's buffering. One missed beat in focus, memory, or balance snowballs into frustration, falls, or forgotten keys. Stroke, concussion, long COVID, even aging can all lead to brain fog. Cognitive rehab works. Check us out at leadingedgephysio.com before your next "where'd I put my phone" moment.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Japa is digging deep on their 50-year history of supporting Alberta's construction industry with their line of special edition blackout excavators. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$2.50 as we continue on. Monday edition, The Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game. Remember, tomorrow, Lotto Max, $25 million. Woo! Imagine what you could do with that. Get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. The Oilers, of course, in action tonight against Columbus, and then they will leave tomorrow on a 7-game road trip that could have big implications of how good they will have to play in December, depending on how good the road trip goes. So they could be in a real big hole, or they could start digging out of it tonight against Columbus. Meanwhile, also this coming weekend, the Grey Cup, and you have the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Montreal Alouettes. It will be the 112th Grey Cup. Should be a doozy as we get to our CFL report, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Home to no payments, no interest for 1 year on your furnace. Stay warm all winter. LegacyHeating.ca. John Hodge from 3 Down Nation joins us. And John, 2 really close games. Literally came down to the wire between the Riders and the Lions. And you know what? Wasn't an overly, probably lower scoring than some people thought it would be, but it was very close. Really, both games, I thought you can't complain for competitiveness in the East and West final.
Yeah, I thought they were both really compelling games. I think, the East final, the first half, there was a lot of the teams kind of sussing each other out, feeling each other out. It would have been a little more fun, at least in my opinion, if they'd come out swinging a little more, but these are 2 defensive teams. Montreal, arguably the best defense in the league. Hamilton finished number 1 in takeaways. in the regular season. Out west, I thought it was classic prairie football. We had the Saskatchewan Roughriders offensive line controlling the line of scrimmage, AJ Ouellette running through people, jumping over people, and then obviously you had to love the ending with the controversial catch from Tommy Neild to seal things out. A guy who, I think has been a little bit unheralded in that receiving core, and now Rider legend for life, arguably, with people remembering that West final catch, I'm sure, for years and years to come.
When you look at it on a Monday and you break it down, which team do you like and why for the 112th Grey Cup?
I hate to sit on the fence, I do, but I think I'm going to reserve a little bit of judgment at least to see what the status is of Davis Alexander's hamstring. That left hamstring forced him to miss 11 games this year, and the Alouettes were not a very good team without him in the lineup. They really struggled, whereas they are, since he started his first game in this league, 13-0 when he is under center to start a game. I think that's hard to ignore. So yeah. I think these are both really good teams. They're two of the top defenses in the CFL, certainly. I love that Mario Alford's had a bit of a bounce back year in the return game. The Alouettes have by far and away the stronger kicking game. Jose Maltos Diaz, an excellent season. He kicked the game winner from 45 yards out. Obviously, Brett Lawther struggled for the Riders. But then offensively, I think a lot of this comes down to Davis Alexander. If he's mobile, if he's running great and he's healthy and he's got that swagger and he's chirping the bench and the sidelines, I like the Alouettes. If he's hobbling and he's a statue back there and he's not able to move the football with his legs, I like the Riders.
Yeah, well, I think that's totally valid. To me, I would take I'd take Montreal easily if Alexander's playing, even if he's not fully healthy. When he's playing, as you mentioned, their record, they're just a better team with him in there. He has emerged as one of the best, like the next great young quarterback, I think, in the CFL. Speaking of quarterbacks, Bo Levi Mitchell, what do you make of his tenure in Hamilton for next season?
Well, I think Bo has been really transparent about this. He's been very open about this. He's somebody who at times in his career has talked about, visualizing retirement. He's on the record as saying he does not want to play till 40, which is something that I think some other CFL quarterbacks, including Trevor Harris, have aspirations to do. And, I think if this was a couple years ago and you're Bo, I think you're looking to ensure that you go out on a high note and prove that you still got it, right? Like, let's not forget Bo had a couple of really injury-riddled seasons, including 2019 with the Calgary Stampeders, and then again post-pandemic with the Stamps. And he really struggled, right, in his first couple of years in Steeltown. He didn't even start Hamilton's playoff game in 2023, sitting behind Matthew Schultz, which, given the way things played out, is almost hard to believe in a way. But after 2 seasons where he was named the MOP candidate from the East Division, I think he's a guy who, if he wanted to come back, obviously the Ticats would love to have. Head coach Scott Milanovich said that on Garbage Bag Day. He'd love to have Bo back. And when speaking to the media about his future, Bo seemed very positive about not only how he feels at age 35, he turns 36 in March, but in terms of how much he loves being in the building and how much his teammates seem to love competing together. Like, clearly they're building something good in Hamilton. They had a big bounce back year, getting back to the playoffs, coming very close to getting back to the Grey Cup. So it wouldn't surprise me at all if Bo is back for 2026, but he did say that he needed an opportunity to speak to his family, his coaches, his teammates, and do a little soul searching before he officially committed either way to either playing or not playing.
So Jason Moss, a former player, former coach of the Elks or Eskimos, he's won a championship. He's done a great job. What can you say about what he's done and what he means to the Alouettes?
Well, I mean, I think you got to give him all the credit in the world, right? This is his 3rd season in Montreal. He got the team to a Grey Cup, won it in upset fashion in 2023. Last season, they win more games than anybody else in the regular season. Granted, they fell short of the Grey Cup, but still a first-place finish. And, of course, this year they get second place. They likely, I think, would have finished first had Alexander stayed healthy. But still, to get back to this Grey Cup, 2 Grey Cup appearances in 3 years is great. It's a little easier, obviously, to make it out of the East than the West, but still something that's tough to do. And, I think you got to give Jason credit. He obviously had a positive record. He was above 500 from his tenure at Edmonton, but he's a guy who I think needed to do some personal growth. And I think he was transparent about that, right? As much as he was winning games at Edmonton, he also would berate assistants of his. He would throw Gatorade jugs. He would smash headsets. And that type of behavior, first of all, I don't think it puts your club in the best light, but then also I think it makes it a bit tough when one of your players gets emotional and needs to be reined in. In a way, it's a little hypocritical, right? If you're saying, hey, we got to be focused on the task at hand. And the player's like, Coach, didn't you just vandalize something? Didn't you just break property of the organization? So we have not seen Moss fly off the handle like that in Montreal. He's been a lot more reined in, and I think he's been a lot more focused in that regard. And obviously, Danny Machocha, the team's general manager, who he has a multi-decade relationship with. They won, of course, a Grey Cup together in Edmonton when Moss was a quarterback and Machocha was the head coach. He's done a great job, I think, of really building this team in the identity he wants. Like Danny Machocha won a Vanier Cup with the Montreal Caravan based on, yes, an offense that could move the football and control the football, but a really, really great defense. And when you look at this team, there's really no weaknesses. They can hurt you through the air. They've got a great defense. The only real spot you'd maybe look at as a bit of a weakness was the run game. And guess what? Stevie Scott put up over, I think it was 120 yards against the Bombers in the East semis. So they can do it all. And I think you got to give Moss a lot of credit and Danny Machocha a lot of credit as well.
Jeff, looking ahead to free agency, and it's hard, I know, in free agency, but do you expect any big name receivers to be available in free agency?
I think honestly that's a big storyline right now. I mean, Kenny Lawler's still under contract in Hamilton, but when you look at the Canadians specifically, there's a couple of great ones who are set to become free agents right now out of Saskatchewan, and Kean Schaefer-Baker and Sam Emelis. Tyson Philpott is a pending free agent in Montreal. And these are all guys who, they're not your typical, okay, let's throw them out at field wide receiver because they're Canadian and they'll count towards the ratio and we can throw a couple of passes their way. These are guys who are as good as pretty much any receiver in the CFL, guys who are impact players, who are all candidates to go for 1,000 yards, something that Sam Emelis has done, and Kean Schaefer-Baker and Tyson Philpott, I think, would have done multiple times had they not dealt with injuries early in their respective careers. So if you're the Edmonton Elks, a team that I think we all know needs to get better at the receiver position, for instance, I think you like what you got in Keon Julian Grant, a guy who just signed an extension, I was led to believe, worth upwards of $200,000. But whether it's a guy like Curly Gittens Jr., who I think is a really solid kind of possession slot back, or whether it's dipping a toe into that free agent market for a guy like Schaefer-Baker, for a guy like Emelis, for a guy like Philpott, I think there are opportunities to make some hay at the receiver position, specifically for Canadians. Outside of the Canadians, yes, there are absolutely other guys set to hit the open market. At 3downnation.com, we have the Hamilton Tiger Cats free agent list. Tim White is set to become available, multi-time All-CFL selection. So I think there's a lot of opportunity there for teams looking to get better at that position.
Well, John, we look forward to the Grey Cup on Sunday. It's always a big event for Canadians, so we look forward to it. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me. Anytime.
There you go. That is John Hodge from 3 Down Nation. Coming up, Strutty will join us in the next hour. We've got a lot of text to get to, 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Let's get to the Con Man Sports Update, brought to you by Fountain Tire. And, hey, you know what's coming. Colder weather, slippier roads. You want good winter tires. Get them now, 15% off at all. Fountain Tire, fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game 8, the Edmonton Oilers are going to bounce back from Saturday's big loss when they host the Blue Jackets. Puck drop 6:30. We've got pregame coverage coming your way at 5:30 with Walker, Gregor, Paulson, and Ferraro. Elsewhere, Devils host the Islanders, Preds in New York taking on the Rangers, and the Golden Knights host the Panthers. In the NFL, Week 10 concludes with the Packers up against the Eagles, 6:15 from Lambeau. Off the field, New York Giants firing head coach Brian Daboll moving on from him midway through his 4th season as they drop to 2-8 with their loss against the Chicago Bears. Daboll went 20-40-1 in his first time coaching, head coach in the league. Offensive coordinator Mike Capsule named the interim replacement. And in the NBA tonight, you've got the Jazz and the Timberwolves Pelicans in the desert taking on the Suns. Mavs host the Bucks, Cavs, and Heat. Magic up against the Trailblazers and the Lakers in Charlotte. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by former NHLer Jason Strudwick and ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
In 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
Sure, your couch is comfortable, but watching the game is always better at On the Rocks. With crystal clear TVs, you won't miss a single play, and the specials are a major league win. Pre-game warm-up starts with specials 30 minutes before the puck drops. Get 69-cent wings and $5.75 Molson Canadian and Coors Light drafts. And play score and win every game for your chance to win big. Be part of the action this hockey season. See the menu online at ontherocksyeg.com.
When you visit a Booster
225, welcome back to
November
Gregor Show.
13th and purchase any regular size smoothie, you get another one free.
No way.
Yes way. We celebrate our birthday every year with a special buy one, get one smoothie offer to show our appreciation for our amazing customers from coast to coast.
I'm ready to celebrate.
Thank you, Canada, for 26 wonderful years. We look forward to serving you not one, but 2 delicious smoothies on
Monday
November 13th.
edition.
Conditions
Monday.
apply. Booster Cheese, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
Stories are told to make a point, and GS Construction takes them very seriously. We're not talking about fairy tales. GS Construction looks at the story Old Pipe.
The Jason.
A tale of time and pressure and
40
endurance. So when those old
This is
pipes
Monday
are
afternoon.
their story,
This is Monday
GS
afternoon.
Construction starts a new chapter by repairing or rebuilding, or in some cases, renewing the underground infrastructure that supports our modern lives, making sure every community's story continues on safely and reliably. For more, visit gsconstruction.ca.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
At Nisku Ford, we want your visit to feel as comfortable as a holiday gathering. When you shop with us, you're not just a customer, you're family. And we always give our family the best.
And the whole family is going to love our November deals. Find your favorite Ford, then choose from 0% financing or rebates as high as $10,000.
Nisku Ford to your holiday visits, or make your wish list at niskuford.ca today. Above expectations.
Across rural Alberta, volunteers and community groups work hard to make life better for their neighbors, creating new playgrounds, better rinks, and gathering places that bring us together. Vision Credit Union is proud to lend these local heroes a helping hand. Apply today for a Helping Hand grant up to $10,000 to support your community's next big idea. Let's make great things happen together. Applications are open until January 31st, 2026. Learn more at whatsyourshare.ca.
Just nothing here. Open. Could do some audio, potentially. Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. What's the best way to beat the tariffs? Buy Canadian. Cantork's products not only made in Canada, but right here in Edmonton. Save money, support Canada at cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through Monday afternoon. Remember a little bit earlier start time tonight. Puck drop around 6:40ish, as it is the prime game. Not the prime game of the day, but it's on prime in case you are going to the game. Well, I guess if you're going, it won't matter. But if you go to watch it, then you're going to be screaming at your TV, "Where's the game?" Well, that's where it's at. So this is it's on prime. So you either have to get it illegally. Not that I would recommend that, but you know where you can do it. Or you can, you have to have the package. I think there's 2, maybe 3 order games on Prime this year on Monday nights. So in case you're wondering why you can't get it tonight on your regular television channel, that is why. So there you go. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. We have a lot of text coming in, 833-401-1440. Hey, Gregor, do you and Sean think it would be a good decision to play Stuart Skinner after what happened last game? Well, he let in 4, Pickard let in 5. What are our options here? No, like I think I'm going like if you're giving every other player a chance to bounce back, why wouldn't you give the goaltender one?
Yeah, I think it's important that you go back to him. He's your guy. You win as a team, you lose as a team. He wasn't great. This is another, just as big of a game as I talked about earlier. There's certain games that you get excited for. This is a big game for them to see what type of bounce back and really the makeup of this team. And I know it's early, but I think it's a little bit of a statement game for some guys to kind of show, the disappointment that they obviously had in that game. They've all talked about it and addressed it. And now it's time to kind of man up and show what you got.
Like this one. Hey, Gregor, picking the Owls easily if their starter plays, that's a tad disrespectful to the Riders and what they've accomplished. On top of that, it's going to be a home game for Sasky. I get you hate the Riders, but that's not objective in the slightest, Steve. When have I ever said I hate the Riders? But I really am kind of neutral on the Riders. I don't hate them or love them. The Alouettes have never lost with Davis Alexander as their starting quarterback, Steve. That's why I picked them to win if he plays. To me, it's nothing about bias. It has to do with the fact that they're 13-0 and he's the starting quarterback. He's that good. And that team plays incredibly well when he's their starting quarterback. So, yeah, if he's starting, I'm picking the Owls.
Just based on his record.
Yeah, based on his record. And, yeah, you're right. It'll be a home game in the Grey Cup. That's outstanding. It'll be a great atmosphere. The Rider fans are it's going to be awesome for them. No, I don't doubt that, but that's kind of irrelevant. They've never lost at home or on the road when Davis Alexander's their starting quarterback. That's why I picked. Now, that doesn't mean Saskatchewan can't win, but you give me a reason to tell me why I should pick Saskatchewan just because they're at home. That's not a good enough reason for me.
So who's their backup? Is that McLeod, Bethel, Thompson there? Like, what's your confidence in the fact that if he can't play and
well, like I said, if he doesn't play,
yeah,
I'm picking Saskatchewan.
There you go.
I don't have much confidence
really
that Saskatchewan's good.
Yeah,
but with Bethel Thompson there, yeah, I think it is. It's a significant downgrade at the most important position, and that's why, for me, it's Davis Alexander all the way. It's not. I don't even think it's like he might be the most important player to his team, right? Like you look at. So here's the numbers. So Bethel Thompson, when he's in Montreal, he attempted 243 passes, completed 155, so that's 63.8%. He threw 9 touchdowns and 9 interceptions on 243 pass attempts. Davis Alexander didn't lose a game. He had 158 completions on 218 attempts for 72.5 completion percentage. He threw more touchdowns and he threw only 3 interceptions. So he threw 3 picks on 218 attempts. Bethel Thompson threw 9 picks on 243 attempts. I honestly don't really think it's close for Montreal. And that's why, man, they're going to be putting Davis Alexander in one of those
chambers.
Oxygen chambers, 100%, man. Like that guy, they're going to do everything possible because they are a much better team with him than they are with Bethel Thompson.
But it is one game.
I would say this. I think Saskatchewan would blow them out if Bethel Thompson starts.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I don't have much faith in it.
It's one game. It's always interesting, with a championship game and it being one game, lots of situations could happen. Even, records and stats are stats, but sometimes, that moment and that big of a game, it does change a little bit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No question about that. But I'm He is.
Are you watching it? Do you get together and watch it?
Oh, I always watch. Oh, are you kidding me? Yeah, I love it. No, my son loves it because we always have nachos. No, I love Grey Cup, man. Like anybody who, if you've never been to the Grey Cup, I would highly recommend going. It is for the game itself. You can get tickets for it. Like, it's fun. Everybody's in a good mood. And then you go there. You got to go at minimum on a Friday to experience the Grey Cup Saturday. Like, get there on a Friday night, have fun. And I don't even care. You don't have to be a partier, but just the whole atmosphere and everything that surrounds it. And you know what? You have all of the, the room, Spirit of Edmonton room, and, the Lions Den and the Rider Vale and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And you just get a really good sense. Anytime I've gone, everybody's friendly.
Yeah.
Everybody's having fun. They don't care what team you cheer for. Everybody wears, if you're a Rider fan, you wear your Rider colors. If you're an Elks fan, you wear your Elks colors. If you're an Argos fan, you wear that. And there's lots of people that they go every year. And then there's new people that come, and I would recommend it to anybody. You don't even have to be a football fan. I remember when the last time the Grey Cup was here, I got us a table at the Spirit of Edmonton breakfast for our whole neighborhood. It was like 5 couples who all hang out and stuff. And they're like, well, I've never been. What do you mean? So I explained to them, no. Like, we go for breakfast. It's like 8:00 and we're, having fun. And Dwayne Manjusic helped us out. We got all dressed up and, we had a riot, like all day event. It was so fun. And so we went to the breakfast. Then we toured around, went for lunches, and just, had some fun, and went back to the Spirit of Edmonton room later on that night. And, a few people were tapped out as the night went along. But they were like, God, that was so fun. Like, everybody was just friendly. So I would recommend it to anybody.
But I think you're right. I mean, I was at the Grey Cup when I played in Hamilton. They had it there. And that's back when Doug Flutie Flakes was around. And you're exactly right on. That's the one thing that stuck out to me was all the different teams and all the fans that were representing each team and the friendly banter and the atmosphere. Because I'm not necessarily I have jerseys, but I'm not a jersey guy.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't think it's always like that. Like, I think if you go in certain areas with certain teams with certain jerseys on, and I've heard it myself being at Oiler games, if, guys or, fans of other teams wearing a jersey and you hear them mocking them. And at times it gets it's quite comical, but it gets aggressive too. Right. And that's the one thing I really liked and enjoyed my experience in Hamilton was just how friendly everyone was, even though they were wearing and cheering for different teams.
Oh yeah. No, that's how
I thought that was cool.
Yeah. No, it's great. I recommend it to anybody. It's too bad Edmonton didn't get the Grey Cup in 2027. I think now the earliest they can have it is 2029. And so, because I get why some people maybe don't want to travel to it. And that the only negative about it being in Saskatchewan is it's hard to get a hotel room. Right? Like, it's the only negative. So now I know lots of people there rent out their houses for that time. Right. So, if you want a room, you can find it some way, but I'll be curious. I'm sure there's lots of our listeners that are going, and they go every year, and the Spirit of Edmonton is going to be there. And the Elks have actually teamed up with the Spirit of Edmonton to make it last and make it even be bigger and better than ever. So, that's great news for it, but it'll be, lots of people will head in. Like, trust me, every year, like, I'm like, you know what? I could just, make a last second trip. I got a buddy who lives in Regina. Right.
Yeah.
And
is it not sold out though? I heard it's sold out.
Oh, no, but
it's not sold out.
I would just go for a few games. And like, I'll be honest, like, there's years where I went and I covered everything up until the game, and then I flew home to watch the game at home.
Really? Well, it is. I mean, that's the amazing thing about football. It's everything around it.
Like, if Edmonton wasn't in it, the game itself isn't as important for me to have to cover the dressing room.
Yeah.
Right. But so there was a year or two when I was there covering all the festivities right up to it, and then flew out Sunday morning, got home in time to watch the game.
Actually, you know what? Have you ever covered a championship game where they've won and they have the champagne and they're spraying it all around and stuff like that? Like, what's the expectation? You see them get drenched.
Well, somewhat. It's, when in 2015, it was in the room, and they didn't seem to waste a ton of champagne on reporters, which was nice. I got a little bit of kind of like, secondhand spray, if you want to call it that, but I wasn't right in the middle. No one's coming up to you spraying right in your face. Right. So it's, do you
kind of prepare for it? Is there a certain suit, or do you?
Well, I get, if I was like, Edmonton for game 7, I had like one of my suits where I'm like, if this gets wet, it's not going to bother me. and I brought some other clothes because I'm like, I don't want to ride home soaked.
Yeah.
So I did in my bag that day. I had just a pair, like another shirt that I was like, you know what, if I have to sit in the cab ride home,
Yeah.
you know, you're not going to get soaked.
Yeah.
Right. So that was, but really, you know, even in the, and I went on the ice when Florida won and talked to all the players, but there was no issue there. Right.
Yeah.
It's more in the room where you're going to get soaked. So
Yeah.
you could even cover Edmonton and just get all your stuff on the ice and then not go in the room.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And avoid the crazy. It seems like they spray more now. Like you look in football and hockey and like they seem
Baseball.
to spray more.
Yeah. It seems like you
it's
see
become
Hazel
more
May
now.
just getting.
Well, yeah, basically you go in, you just put on a raincoat,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just put on a rain jacket and hope for the best. But yeah, that would be a fine. I've been in the room when I've been in the room now when the Oilers have lost 3 times, the Elks a few times. So it's you know, it's probably not the best day. You're like guys are crushed. And so you're still a human. I'm just like, what do you ask them in that moment? It's always difficult to try to come up with something that, you know, because none of them ever really been like massive blowout losses, right? Like they've been close and you're tight. And then I would like, not that a blowout loss wouldn't hurt, but I think like you would have time emotionally and prepare for it, right? Like you go into the third period and you're losing 6-1.
Yeah.
Right. It's different than if you lose in the last minute of the game in a 2-1 game.
So how much of it now, as a media, when you come into the room, you don't have access to everybody, right? They kind of give you access to certain players, or can you
after the game, like?
Yeah.
No, well, so how? Because I know we got this text, and I'll read this text to answer it because this explains. I gotta find it. Yeah, I'll read it here. Hey, Gregor, regarding the Oilers' embarrassment, I think it's time to remove the captaincy for McDavid because he hasn't shown any form of leadership in years. I've wanted him to lose the C for a while. He was too much of a chicken to do media after the game. Same for the rest of the core leadership group. This team has blown numerous 2-goal leads thanks to Skinner or Bouchard. The media needs to stop making excuses for them, especially you, Gregor. You continuously defend the goaltender, especially Skinner, but it's time to get rid of him. After management are smart, they don't resign the hometown kid playing for his hometown because as long as he's on the team, the Oilers will not win the cup. From John. Well, a few things there, John. So now I wasn't at the game, so usually they're there, you know, the media guys, who do you want to talk to? And then you submit, you know, and trust me, there's been arguments amongst the media because, you know, nowadays the team only limits you to have 3, which is a joke. And that's my own opinion of it. You tell me you can only talk 3 people after the game. I don't like it. But anyway, that's the rule. So there are days when you're arguing amongst the guys. Well, they want to talk to one, I want to talk to this guy. So you have little debates over time. But so they put in the requests and, you know, they send in on a WhatsApp chat. Okay, you send it to the PR guy. Here's the players I want to talk to. So those are the players whose names came up after Saturday. Now, I will say this. In the past, there have been times when you've requested players after a bad loss and the leadership, and I can't remember who it was. For some reason, there was a young player once and they just said, no, he's not talking. We'll talk for him. Okay, fine. Mm-hmm. Now, they didn't do that this time. Maybe because they felt like the 3 guys being asked were veterans, not a big deal. So there was no scared to talk. McDavid spoke the next day, right? When he was asked, right? And even after practice, there's only limited times where you can get certain players. So that's where it goes. Stripping McDavid, no offense, John, might be the dumbest idea I've heard in a long time. As for Skinner and Bouchard, yeah, Skinner, if you think Skinner cost him the game on Saturday, then I don't think you're paying attention very much to the game. The whole team cost them the game. There's not one player in a 9-1 game. We want to be, the second goal I didn't like. Okay, what about the third and the fourth and the fifth? What about the 8th goal? They all in the goaltending? The Oilers have blown 2-goal leads. Yep, Bouchard's had some egregious errors. So is Skinner. I can go down the list of guys who haven't had big errors this year is much shorter than the guys who have had it. So, you know, and to make a claim, hey, they'll never win with Skinner, you could be right. It's an opinion based on nothing because no one knows. It's just a saying. And it's easy to say a team won't win when the odds are they won't win. That's just the truth. Only 1 out of 32 team wins. So, you know, for me to sit here and say, hey, the Oilers aren't going to win, I'm not going to pat myself on the back when I say that because I don't think it'd be a hard prediction to make. Like I could probably go through 22 to 24 teams today and be very confident in saying they're not winning the cup this year. And I don't think that'd be very hard because there's only one who has a chance to win. I still think the Oilers have a chance to win, but they got to play way better.
What do you think their biggest area of need is?
The Oilers?
Yeah. Would you say it's a depth?
No.
Hard to find?
No, not for me. I think their biggest need right now is they need more sandpaper up front guys in their top 9.
Oh, and top 9.
100%. Mm-hmm. Your 4th line isn't winning you Stanley Cups. Your 4th lines are complimentary guys, right? That's what they are. Your top 9 forwards are the main guys. Now, if you can get 1 or 2 timely goals the entire playoffs from your fourth line, you're pretty excited, right? At the end of the day, you're really excited about it. But that's, and when they score a goal, is it a big goal? Is it just kind of a nothing goal? What is it? Ultimately, to me, I think it's their best guys, and I think they need another scoring winger. I would actually say a scoring winger in their top 6 is the biggest need for this team.
Really?
What do you think it is?
Yeah. I think I like the top 6, and I like the guys that can kind of move around in the top 6 depending on who's hot, and because I think they have enough skill up there with
But do they have a scoring winger though?
Well, I think that they'll get that. I just see the bottom 6. That's the area of concern for me. I just think if you can bring in someone that can play heavier, harder, I guess, when Hyman comes back, he's going to help with that, right? Todd Colson, now you got 2 guys on 2 lines, but it just, I don't see a line that when things aren't going well, whether you give up a goal or you need some momentum, I don't see anyone out there that's able to do it, that's comfortable doing it, that's their true identity and has done it in the past.
Yeah, well, I guess you have to look. Hyman, Janmark, and Kapanen are out of your lineup. So if those 3 come in, now you're taking 3 guys out of your lineup. Right? Like, I think right now the Oilers have too many small forwards in their lineup, but it's because they got 3 guys out of their line. Like Kapanen and Janmark can both skate, and they're both strong. Like Janmark doesn't lose battles. Right now, Janmark in the regular season isn't going to score in the ocean. I get it. Right? But Janmark in the playoffs, hard to play against. He shows up, he competes, he can skate, he can do all the things. As a depth, if he's on my fourth line, I don't have much of an issue with him on my fourth line at all. Like, I look at Florida's fourth line last year. How many goals did their fourth line score? Right? Like, Jona Gadjevich did get 2. And he played 7 minutes a night, right? Nosek scored no goals. Nico Sturm scored no goals. Like, do I need that? Like, depth guys are nice, man. But I'm talking top 9 are what win you the games here. Yeah. And the Oilers don't have top 6 forwards who score. They don't have wingers who score other than Zach Hyman. Nugent Hopkins is not a great 5-on-5 scorer. He hasn't been. Now, he got some points in the playoffs last year, no question. Pud Colson doesn't score, right? Roslovic, Mangiapane, not in the playoffs. So, no, to me, number 1 priority is a top 6 winger who can score. Now, if he's a bigger body, sign me up. And that pushes other guys down, right? That pushes guys down the lineup a little bit. But when I get Kapanen and Janmark back in my lineup, I don't mind the Oilers' depth. Really? As much as I like their top guys.
I love Kapanen, and he had a shift in the playoffs last year where he was outstanding. He was running around, he was physical, he was exactly what you need. I just, he skates around, he's big, he gets around, he's got skill. Is he that guy? Is he comfortable doing that often enough?
In today's NHL, like if you could find me an AJ Greer, sure. It's not going to cost me very much.
Yeah.
But again, he played 7 minutes a game for Florida. Great 7 minutes, like he's contributing. Yeah. But the majority of the game is a guy in your top 6.
Yeah.
So that's what I need because it's been proven they don't have one.
I just think when you have that energy guy, it'll bring out other areas of other guys' games that they start to buy into it too.
Yeah, but
I would love to talk to teams that come in and play the Edmonton Oilers and get feedback on exactly how they feel when they leave.
Okay, but when they come in, which Edmonton Oilers team? The playoffs or the regular season? Do you think the Oilers were easy to play against in the playoffs the last few years?
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where
you got to get there too.
Well, I totally agree. But yeah, so get a guy who can score. I think that's going to help me way more. Do you win games on scoring? Yeah. Like I just, getting a depth guy is nice because it costs you nothing. It's not going to cost me a lot. If you can go find me one.
I just don't think it's
all for it.
Yeah. I don't think you have to make major changes and bring in a big guy. I just think that if you bring in some of that sandpaper.
I think they need it.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
I totally think they need it because you got to remember Zach Hyman's coming off a wrist injury too. Is he going to be right back to where he's going to be? Because if not, they do not have one scoring winger in your top 6. Not one. If Zach Hyman isn't healthy, they do not have one. Nuge isn't a top 6 scoring winger. It's been proven 5-on-5. That's what a top 6 scoring winger is, 5-on-5, not power play, 5-on-5. So that's what I would do if it's me, and I'll be curious what Stan Bowman does. I'm with you on grit, though. Yeah. They got I'd like someone who would maybe go out there and punch someone in the face with their glove on every now and then.
And it's not even fighting.
That's why I said even with your glove on.
Yeah, there was teams that I played that you knew when you went into their arena or when you left that game, you were not looking forward to playing certain teams.
Yeah.
You know, and I just don't think when you come to Edmonton, when you play the Edmonton Oilers, I don't think you come in here thinking, wow, I'm going to leave with a bunch of ice bags.
Yeah. But how many teams in the league is there that have that nowadays?
There isn't a lot, but I think the team that won it has it. And if you want to win, you have to have it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, well, they've won the last 2 years with it, but did Tampa have it when they won? Not really. Like, they were hard to play against, but they weren't bruisers, really.
Yeah.
Right?
There's that element of the game. You're not going to get away from that. You have to have that to your game.
Yeah, a little bit.
I would not want to play the Florida Panthers if I was a player.
Right. Yeah. Well,
I'm not so sure.
But
if I was a player, if I wouldn't want to play the Edmonton Oilers.
But who are the guys that are hard to play against? It's not the Greers and the Gadjevich.
They're all.
It's
hard.
the Kachucks and the Marchand, the guys who
They're
play
all
the
hard.
most. So
Yeah.
let's get one of those guys in the top 6 who plays.
Yeah, but
18
what
minutes a
allows
night.
those guys to play hard and play the way they play?
You
I think there's
think
other
it's
guys in that lineup that make them feel comfortable. And I think if you get a guy that could allow others to be more comfortable, you'd see that side of the Oilers too.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they had Kane.
I think Nurse
Kane
would appreciate anyone that's played on a tough team when it's spread out throughout your lineup and you have that guy, like it makes everyone feel good.
No,
no one's doing the heavy
with.
lifting,
Sure.
right? So I think Kane Nurse or anyone that has that style of role or plays that style of game, when you have a guy, you know, I played with Larocque. I know what he did, right? And I know how he made other guys feel and how uncomfortable he made other guys feel on other teams and how he made a lot of other guys on his own team play a little bigger.
So you'd like the Oilers to get a tough guy?
I'm not saying a tough guy, but someone that could handle himself, that's younger, a little bit hungrier. You know, does he I wouldn't want him I wouldn't want to see just a fighter. You got to be able to play in today's game.
No. But how many guys are like that?
There's not a lot of them. You got to find one.
Yeah.
You got to start drafting them.
Yeah.
They're out there.
Okay, but if you draft one, that's a total different. That's somebody who's going to help you in 6 years.
No, I know, but it's just something. I don't know what how many guys like that they have in the minors, but I just think you got
the only one.
Clattenburg, right?
But he's a 20-year-old rookie. Like,
Exactly.
He's not
and he's not. I don't know if. Yeah, I mean he's a ways away, but I would like to see a few more of those guys to potentially be down the road.
I'd be all for that, but that'd be my priority after a top 6 going. Because you can't score, you can't win. Quick break. We'll return. Struds joins us on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Legacy Heating and Cooling is the only place to call for heating your home. So when it's time to replace your old furnace, call Legacy. Or for 24-hour repair with no overtime rates. Legacy even heats your shower with hot water tanks. Call Legacy. And with no interest and no payments for 1 year, it could only be Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order noodle at oodlenoodle.ca, delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
Michelle and Colette are sisters. Sisters who don't agree on much, especially when it comes to which hockey team is the best.
Edmonton is the best, baby. Vancouver's #1.
Even when it comes to meat snacks from Wilhawks.
I love the Harris Schwiener. The ham sausage rules.
But they will agree.
Wilhawk beef jerky is the best.
It might just be the only thing Alberta hockey fans can agree on.
Others can try to imitate, but no one can duplicate Wilhawk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't win friends with salad.
Summit Restaurant. Located in the heart of the Silent Ice Center and just minutes from South Edmonton Common, Summit is your destination for exceptional house-made pizza, delicious entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails. Cheers. Experience the perfect blend of flavor and ambiance in a modern setting. Join us for a straightforward yet elevated dining experience where our commitment to quality speaks to every bite and sip. Make Summit Restaurant your next night on the town.
Wondering what you can afford? Let Go Auto do the math with our free car loan calculator. No pressure, no awkward convos, just quick answers on your budget and payments. Bad credit? No credit? We got you. Text CHECK to 780-777-7777. That's CHECK to 780-all-7. Find out what you qualify for and start shopping with confidence. Go Auto. Drive what you love with payments that make sense.
You matter. Your mental health matters, and you're braver than you think. Not Alone is an organization focused on creating a space of acceptance and support through tough, meaningful conversation. My name is Tyler Smith, and you are never alone. NotAloneCo.com. It's okay to not be okay.
Hand delivering a hamper to a family in need fills everyone's hearts with joy. Be part of the Holiday Hamper program. Adopt a local family and see the difference your groceries and gifts make firsthand. Sign up today at holidayhamper.ca.
Every lunchtime, hang with Low Tide. Weekdays from noon to 2 on Sports 1440. Low Tide and Declan Kruger gives you the deep dives, sharp analysis, and Edmonton sports talk done right. Your game, your station, Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor, the best place for wine, cocktails, and beers from all over the world. Also, a variety of excellent non-alcoholic options. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.334, Jason Gregor, Sean Brown with you as it's time for Struds On, brought to you by Action Electrical, one of the most diversified electrical contractors in Alberta with 4 divisions to serve you better, actionelectrical.net.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
I don't believe in tea bags. I use loose leaf tea, and it is so much better than the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags. I'll
Struds On.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I mean, I guess if you had me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds On.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. You need to have clean nut. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds On.
Struddy, how you doing?
I'm feeling really good and tight. How are you guys doing?
Oh, pretty good. What would be your number one priority that you think the Oilers need to add for their team between now and the deadline?
Wow. I still think, oh God, the way 6 weeks ago I was saying a scoring winger, right? I think they need a guy. I want Alex Tuck. If you have my wish list, I want Alex Tuck.
Okay.
My opinion has changed. It's starting to evolve and change. I was hoping that the netminders would solidify that so they wouldn't have to deal with that. The D-men are deep enough and good enough. And then it was just that last spot to adding the top forward. But my opinion is starting to change in the last, I'd say, 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, well, hey, goaltending obviously can be a little bit better. Woodley was outlining, though, just how bad the environment's been in front of the goaltenders so far this year.
Fair
So, Chris Knobloch had an interesting thing. I know, I guess it all depends how people interpret it. But Chris Knobloch, the thing that kind of stuck out to me, he was talking about, depth guys and everything. And, you need depth and stuff. But he goes, the identity of our team is Connor and Leon, and then it's our 6th defenseman. And I felt it was like his 6th defense as a group really haven't played that well. I at least think up to their standards. Because I think most people, even outside of Edmonton, had the Oilers as one of the best defensive cores on paper when the season began. And it hasn't come close to being that this year.
Yeah, and that's fair. And that's, when I look back, I was like, this D-core is solid, right? Really, really good. They're big, they can skate, they can do a lot of things. And it just hasn't gone the way that they want. You know, you look at the way they've played, the mistakes, the missed assignments, and I'm not really sure what's changed. It's the same group that went to the Stanley Cup final, and for the most part, the same group that went the year before the Stanley Cup final. So, you know, what's missing? Is Jake Wallman healthy? I mean, I have no idea. Is he, or, you know, what's going on there? What's up with him? Is Ekholm 100% back yet? You know, Bouchard is he feeling the pressure of a new contract? Feeling the pressure of trying to make Team Canada? You know, Darnell Nurse, is he trying to do too much? Is he, where's he at? Like, all these guys, like, they're capable of so much more. And I think Woodley's point, and I didn't hear it, about the environment isn't fair for the goalies, that's for sure. But when I looked at this team, I thought that the D would be the one thing that we'd not have to worry about for the year.
Struddy, what I know on Twitter, they've, you know, I can't remember what reporter asked the coach Knobloch there about goaltending, and there was a little bit of a pause. And to me, he seems like he's a very calculated coach, gives a lot of thought in the answers that he gives. Are you reading into that pause at all?
Yeah. So I hear what you're saying. When someone asks you a question, you're not sure to answer it. You just take a deep breath and say, okay, how am I going to proceed with this? Can the goaltending be better? For sure. It can be, for sure. But if you look back on Saturday night, there's a lot of areas that could be better. You know, I think of Cale Makar's second goal. The most dangerous player on the ice is Cale Makar, other than the guy taking the face-off. Well, they go right to Devon Toews, who I'd rather shoot all night long rather than one shot from Cale Makar from where he shot it from. So that's a misread. Is that in the goalie? Yeah, I guess you can ask him to make a save. It shouldn't even be a chance. Like, that shouldn't even be a chance against when you look up and see that lineup they had. So, you know, I don't know. I can't read into what Knobloch is thinking or doing, but, you know, there are saves that I'd like to have back. I always think if I was a D-man, what I want my goalie to have to save that, be able to save it. Yeah, there's some that for sure, but there's a lot of play in front of them that's not good enough either. So is it fair to evaluate the netminders based on what's going on in front of them so far this year? I'd have a hard time doing that just yet.
Yeah, 100%, right? Like, they're, you know, now, are there a few saves you want Skinner to make? He's got to stop the odd breakaway one, no question. Maybe stop one of the shootout ones in Dallas. Sure. Now, the funny thing is, no one said in Calgary when he lost, when he stopped all the ones and the forwards only scored once, right? Like, it's got to work both ways here. Like, if your goalie stops 6, your forward should be able to score more than 1, for goodness sakes. So, especially on a smaller goalie. But like Saturday's loss, Struddy, was to me the perfect encapsulation of the season for the Oilers, because they had been getting fake points to have, oh, you know what, they're 1 point out of the playoffs, they're in the playoffs, because of all the overtime losing points. And there's been a lot of areas of their game that just simply haven't been consistent enough at all. From goaltending to defense to forwards, 5-on-5 scoring's been dreadful all year long. And everybody just said, oh, it'll just change. No, it won't change. Not if you don't do anything different. Like, I want to ask your thoughts. 2 things. A, their lack of a net front presence, but B, this newfound idea that we're just going to stretch the puck up to a stationary forward and he's going to redirect into the offensive zone. Shoot me now. It's the worst breakout going.
Yeah, and there's, you know, that's something that's becoming somewhat popular around the league, and a couple things. So when you pass it up to that guy, if he's standing still and no one else is coming up to support him, that's a pretty easy breakout for the D-man, because, you know, I feel pretty comfortable I can beat a stationary guy if I'm moving to a puck, you know, like, unless it's Connor McDavid, you're going to get there for the D and he can make that play. So you got to make sure you have guys falling up beside him so that if he's stationary and tips it, maybe F2 and F3 now can get on there really quick and get to that puck and make that a more contested puck. But they've been doing that for a long time. I mean, even last year, they get it and they flip it all the way out. And what you're trying to do is trying to, you know, relieve pressure, trying to get away from time in your own zone. And I get that, but offensively, what are you giving up from there? So if we agree that maybe there's a percentage less chance to get scored on their own zone, that's great. But if you're giving up more offensively, why are you making that trade? You know, like, it doesn't make sense for the trade. So there's got to be a balance in there somewhere, guys.
So, you know, there's a couple players that I was expecting to step up in the loss against Colorado. Is there any one particular player that maybe you were expecting or a little disappointed in the lack of response on the Oilers roster?
Yeah, I mean, the game has changed. So the days of a line brawl when you get up 3-1 is pretty unlikely. But, you still got to look like you're a little upset, and you sit on the bench, you look over, and if the other team's getting agitated because they're getting beat, like, okay, these guys still have a lot of fight in them. But there was zero, they didn't look upset at all. I guess maybe on the bench they maybe threw some dirty looks, I don't know at who, but not at the other team, right? They weren't frustrated and saying, okay, I'm just going to run someone here. I'm just going to snap for how many minuses can I take before I just snap? You think back to the last 3 games, 2-goal lead. They got 1 point out of those. And then that game, that 9-1, at some point, just run somebody, just lose it, just because you're just mad. You're just frustrated inside and you just want to get it out. So, yeah, it's the usual suspects, right? Trent Frederick, I think that was a really good opportunity for him to do that. But it can also be Darnell Nurse. It could be Mangiapane. It could be Podkolzin. It could be Leon. Just run over, Makar, anything, just to show you're pissed off because they look like they were not okay with losing, but they didn't have a fight in them. And that's the hard part when I think back to that game on Saturday, guys.
So I don't know if there's been a fight this season, but what type of game would you expect after a loss like that? And having, everyone's aware of their lack of willingness to get involved. What type of game would you expect tonight?
I think they're a real competitive game, really, really competitive game. I think that they're going to, we've anyone who's lost in any game by a big number, you're embarrassed. At home, a marquee game on a Saturday night. You don't think they saw the media? They don't think they saw texts from their friends, 9-1, that is really frustrating. So I'd expect a highly competitive game, and coming out doesn't mean they're going to brawl everyone like that. Olivier is tough. I think he's the toughest guy in the NHL. Doesn't mean you have to go and fight that guy, but make him want to fight somebody. Make him want to get mad. Make him do something so that he is the one coming after you rather than you're going after him. So take a run at one of their guys. Be physical. Drive the net. Stop in front of their goalie. Those are the type of things you want. So if we see a response from Olivier, I will say they came out and dictated that intensity and that bite in their game that really has been fairly non-existent for the most part this year.
Well, hey, I remember Sam Carrick being willing to fight Olivier, and that was a tough one, but he did it. He survived barely, but he still did it. And sometimes it's your willingness to do it. I would agree with you. It's maybe not the best guy to fight, but sometimes you had lots of other opportunities. I'm sorry, but I didn't love Trent Frederick's answer. Well, hey, you know what? You can only ask so many guys. You got 1 goal in 15 games. No one's going to fight you. You can make guys fight you, Struddy. It's not hard, right? Even in today's game, it's not hard. I go look and see all the fighters. It's not like the fighter, this guy's got 7 goals. Okay, I better fight him. Come on here. Let's be realistic. And I don't even care about fighting, to be honest. Get in a scrum. Grab someone, show you actually care about anything. And oh my God, it's 7-1. What are we going to lose? 8-1 now because I took a stupid penalty? Honestly, do you think it's going to matter at that point?
Well, you just want them to react to what you're doing.
Yeah.
You just be the aggressor. And aggression doesn't mean you have to hit some from behind or plow, anything like that. It means you're playing hard and they're getting frustrated. And how many times have we seen that this year where the Oilers are playing so hard, where they're forechecking with such intensity or finishing checks on an easy dump in that someone reacts to something they've done? I could probably count on one hand. And that, my friends, that's the true problem for this team right now is they don't have that just making someone else uncomfortable. It's fairly comfortable to play against the Oilers so far this year.
It's a very reactionary team. I would imagine there's a few guys, and I think you can relate to this too, that are probably having a restless afternoon nap where they're wrestling some alligators. You remember those days where you're going to get in one, and that afternoon nap, you're just tossing and turning, thinking about what's going to happen?
Yeah, but there's an excitement to it as well. You're trying to help your team. I always felt that, there's not much life on our bench. Let's see if I can do something here to get it going, right? So you go out there and maybe you hit someone or slash someone, that you probably shouldn't. And it's scary. When George LaRocque's on the other team, that's not exactly what I want to do. I'm not looking to fight George LaRocque. They're hoping maybe he doesn't see it and someone else does. Billy Heward, although he was pretty tough as well. But, you just want to get a reaction, try to get your group going. So, and listen, if Trent Frederick takes on Olivier tonight, that's a pretty tall order. He's a big guy. I think he'd be okay. But man, would the guys in that room appreciate it, and they'd understand why he's doing it. If they don't understand, well, that's another conversation that's probably going to be pretty uncomfortable as well. But yeah, that's kind of where you're looking to just get out of your comfort zone and be uncomfortable and make the other team want to come after you. And it's tough. It's a tough job, but there's not many guys that do it anymore. But those that do, two claps and a woo for sure.
Struddy, you know what it's like to, how competitive a dress room is. And you know what it's like, especially when you're losing, how, practice can be not fun. Just the atmosphere can be a little bit tense. Guys can be a little bit edgy. Do you read into anything about the McDavid and Bouchard exchange on the ice? I mean, to me, that's just, I've seen that a ton. I'm assuming you've seen it a ton. Would you read into that at all? Or is that just, that's just the leader being a leader and holding guys and everyone accountable?
Yeah, I want to see guys a little bit grumpy. Like when you're losing, you're not supposed to be happy, on the ice. And, you'd see the odd dust up on the ice. I think that's okay. Like there's winning and there's losing. That's all there is. There's no a moral victory maybe for a team trying to get out of the dumpster of being a poor team all year. Like the San Jose Sharks, like they say they play well against Colorado. All right, that's a moral victory. We'll take that. This team isn't keeping score with moral victories. They want to be preparing themselves to go and to play hard. So I saw that interaction. I mean, that was a very low event. I didn't think it was that heated, but you could see Connor was agitated with something that had happened maybe on the coverage or whatever, but that's okay. And as a coach, I would like to see my players policing each other and challenging each other to be more. I mean, the next step, quite honestly, is before the game, calling guys out or after the game. Hey, Strudwick, that's not good enough. You're not digging in. You're not going hard. Like, we can't let those breakdowns happen or whatever. Like, and that's uncomfortable because when you call someone out, the hard part about that is that now you're opening yourself up to criticism if you make a mistake. But that's what a leader does. You got to challenge each other to try to get out of this funk and to get them going because, especially on that back end, which one of those guys has really been their best? Maybe Kulak, it's been close. But the rest have got a much higher level that we've all seen. They set the standard. It's not us. It's them setting that high standard for themselves.
100%. Yeah. Like to me, it starts at the top. They got their best guys got to be better in certain situations. And then, everybody else that can funnel down and be a little bit better. I do think that, certain guys got to play with a little bit more emotion. And that's what McDavid said yesterday, right? He said, hey, you know what? If you're not comfortable being a rah-rah guy, well, then you got to maybe be more of a rah-rah guy. If you're not comfortable being aggressive, well, you got to get outside your comfort zone. And so that's what I'll be watching for tonight, Struddy, is which players are willing to get outside their comfort zone to help the team win.
Well, and that's it. I mean, can you bring energy out? Can you go and get a hit right away and then drive the net? And everyone can show it differently, but there's got to be something, a desire to be more than you are, and that just encourages other guys. And it can be, winning a face-off, a good back check, blocking a shot, hitting someone, getting in a scrum, getting in a fight. Like, all those things are contagious. And when you don't have enough of that, it's also contagious because it's okay. No one else is doing it, so maybe I won't feel it like you're doing it now. And listen, this team has been through a lot. They've been through a ton, that's for sure. But they've got to go through a lot more to get back to where they want again, and that's the assignment. So I'd expect, this team has pulled themselves out of the dumpster before, but this one, it feels a little bit different. But they got to figure this out pretty quick, I think.
What about your Giants, Struddy? I noticed you were quiet on my rebuttal for your comment on social media about it. But what do you make of the Giants?
Well, first off, that's the funniest thing you've ever said. Who wrote that for you? That's my question. Was it Carius that wrote that joke for you?
No, buddy. If it was a Carius joke, it would have been repeated 65 times. You would have heard it.
No.
We could have a whole poll. Who repeats jokes or stories more, Stoff or Carius? That'd be a good question.
Yeah. So listen, I'm not advocating for people to get fired, but there just comes a point where, I watched his press conference after the game yesterday, and he just looked like a guy that had no more. He couldn't fight anymore. He had no more answers. He's not sure what to do. And when you're a player and you look up and you see your coach unsure of what he should do, that's pretty unsettling. So I don't think as a GM you can keep him in place. He kind of loses respect to the room.
Yeah.
So now they promote someone else. I don't know if this guy, the old OC, will become the guy or not. But I mean, they're starting to get some pieces in there, and they got to turn this around. They got to get going. But I mean, right now I've been advocating for, I hope they only win 1 or 2 more games. Let's get a high pick and try to add to this collection of talent we've got developing.
Strutty, we will chat with you next week, and we'll see how the Oilers respond tonight, and the Giants as well. Have a good one.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
There you go. That's Jason Strudwick, co-host of Got Your Back podcast. Quick break. We'll come back. We got 5 questions and more on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
When you visit a Booster Juice location on November 13th and purchase any regular size smoothie, you get another one free.
No way.
Yes way. We celebrate our birthday every year with a special buy one, get one smoothie offer to show our appreciation for our amazing customers from coast to coast.
I'm ready to celebrate.
Thank you, Canada, for 26 wonderful years. We look forward to serving you not 1, but 2 delicious smoothies on November 13th. Conditions apply. Booster Juice, Canadian born, blending since 1999.
You know your neighbor, right? The one who watches your house.
It's a new season, Edmonton. This means it's time for new offers. Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Gregor 50. That's code with Play Alberta. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, please use your game.
Mr. Rooter watches the big game.
Go deep! What you watching, Mr. Rooter? The Plumbing Olympics. Frankie Drain Dragon Sanchez is attempting to break the world record in the 100-meter snake. Watch! Wow! Did you see that? He snaked out a 50-pound clog. And in the middle of that wad, a gold medal. What theater?
Yeah, that's very cool, Mr. Rooter.
For a plumber who's good as gold, call Mr. Rooter.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Papa John's. Enjoy a taste of Hawaii with Papa John's Aloha Trio. Try the classic Hawaiian, Super Hawaiian, or Hawaiian barbecue chicken pizzas for only $19.99 each at papajohns.ca or on the Papa John's app.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Rolling through Monday afternoon, Jason Gregor, Sean Brown, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching the show. Oilers taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets tonight. By the way, Nuge and Hopkins haven't even talked about it, but he is out at least a week, which means he's probably out 3 weeks at the base of every injury assessment we've had this season. You know what? A few weeks, and like Janmark was going to be a week, and Janmark's playing his first game of the season tonight. Hyman still hasn't played yet, and that's fine, but don't say it's a week and then it's going to be an extra 3 weeks. So if they say a week, I'm going to say Nugent Hopkins is probably out at least 2 weeks. Okay. And that's what, based on everything that has been unfolding so far. That's a big loss because I think he's probably been their most consistent player so far this season.
Does anyone have an idea of like when it happened or what it is?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't see him talk to the guys. Something happened in game.
Yeah.
Obviously, because he finished the game. There was looking at the shift chart. There was no time where he was out for an extended period of time. So, well, you know how it is. Sometimes you get something and then, your adrenaline, you play the game and then all of a sudden it wears off and you're like, oh, now I don't feel good. Woke up stiff the next day. So it's kind of where he's at. Let's get to 5 questions brought to you by The Brick. We're saving you more. That's what they do at The Brick. Black Friday pricing is coming up 60% off. Where you can get the leather love seat when you get matching chairs. Check it out at The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, guys, question 1. Let's get the prediction for tonight's game as the Oilers look to bounce back, taking on Columbus.
I look for a good response from everyone, in the whole lineup, from goaltending to star players to role players. I think obviously, those games been in that situation before where you lose, and just the uncomfortableness and just, the will for these guys to want to get it back on track and the embarrassment. I think it's going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a very entertaining. The game that we thought we were going to see in Colorado, I think is the game we're going to see tonight.
Well, I don't know if although Columbus has some entertaining guys for sure. Edmonton, they have shown repeatedly that they can take brutal losses, whether it's in the playoffs, regular season, and bounce back. Now, will they bounce back long term? I think they'll bounce back fine tonight, but that won't surprise me. I'm in a wait and see attitude that they bounce back on the road trip and don't do it for more than one game. So tonight, I will say the Oilers play well and find a way to win against a team that is ailing with a lot of illness.
In honor of the 9-1 loss, what was the worst loss you ever experienced in your playing days?
For me, it wasn't so much like a score. It was probably just the game. I think it was, or in the year, it was 2005 there when Vancouver was in a race with Edmonton for the final playoff spot. And I was in and out of the lineup, and I kind of worked myself into a position where I was in the lineup and moving up the lineup and playing some good minutes. And we were playing San Jose, and we were kind of at the point where we couldn't really lose any games. And Joe Thornton, was it Jonathan Chichu and Patrick Marleau were the top line, and we had to win that game. And it might have even been the first shift that somebody snuck in behind me, and they basically got a breakaway. We wound up losing the game. And to me, I look at that moment, and if we got into the playoffs and you're playing well and you're a part of the team, your career can go a lot of different ways. So I just remember being in the dressing room and just thinking like this loss, because it put us out of the playoffs, it really hurt. It really hurt because I felt like I worked hard. I put myself in a good position. And like I said, I just wanted to see if I could get into the playoffs and see what that could do for my career. And off to Germany I went.
Oh man, I never had a terrible, I don't have one that stands out, Cons. I can't remember a loss that was like, now I remember losing lots. Don't get me wrong. It wasn't like I was on teams that won, but I don't remember like a real bad, like I just remember the one that made me laugh was a U9 team. I coached and our team lost, like we were playing half ice and we lost like 12-1. And one of the kids comes off and he's not even trying to be funny, but he goes, wow, that wasn't very fun. And just how he said it's hilarious. And it just kind of put it in perspective. Like it was like, I wasn't even upset as a coach, but I was starting to laugh. I'm trying not to laugh because it seemed like some kids had never lost bad before.
Yeah.
And it was like every shift, they're just pumping the team. So it was
minor hockey losses. They're tough because they're so young.
Yeah,
right?
I don't remember one as a kid like really bad where I was like, oh my. And you know what? When you're a kid, like I get it was your job. You're a professional hockey player, so it stings. And plus your career ended. You went to Germany, so I get it. But you know, when you're a kid and you lose and U9 or 8, like do you really remember years later? Probably not. Like I don't remember a real bad, you know, ask. Like I remember a junior loss, you know, and it was like 7-0. It was like probably could have been 15-0. So that was bad. But you know, at the end of the day, it doesn't change my life like yours did.
Yeah.
I lost an indoor soccer game 25-0. I will not forget that.
Yeah,
one.
that would be a tough one. I won a game 22-0. I do remember that. Yeah.
We saw a coaching change in the NFL. Is there any other coach in the NFL you see being fired before the end of the season? And if so, any potential head coach candidate you like going into next year?
Well, there's no candidate that stands out to me right now. And to be honest, because I haven't even looked at it, but I'm interested to see. It's funny what happened to Miami. A lot of people thought their coach was kind of like dead man walking, and he still might be depending on how the season goes. But you just obliterated the Buffalo Bills, and I was like, did that team just say, you know what, we like our coach, we didn't like our GM? Like that's part of me that wonders about that. But I think like you know the easy decision, Cons, is probably going to be like I'm going to say New Orleans is going to make a coaching change.
Well, I would stick with Miami. You'd think that Miami would make I would have a hard time believing you would have an issue with the GM. I don't know how much interaction you would actually have with the GM, but to me it would be maybe Miami. But if I were to bring back a guy, not that I know football or you know, that's not my but Bill Belichick maybe is a guy. Is he a guy that I know he's coaching already, but no,
back.
He can't come back.
Well,
or you wouldn't even have him back.
Not with the sideshow of his. No, I don't think that there's any chance of Bill Belichick.
All right, because the sideshow with his.
Well, both. I'm not sure. I think Bill's best coaching days are behind him, and I think the sideshow makes it less appealing.
Yeah, I don't even know enough about the sideshow other than I do know he's dating someone that's quite a bit younger.
Well, that part I don't think is a problem. That she's front and center is the problem. It's not the age. People want to date someone 50 years younger and knock your socks off, but it's all the other stuff that goes around with it.
Oh, okay.
So.
Question 4, Monday Night Football at Lambeau. Packers, Eagles. Packers 1-point favorites coming into this one. What would your pick be at playalberta.ca?
I'll just go with Josh Jacobs to get a rushing touchdown.
Safe.
Cons, go ahead.
I'm going to take the Eagles to cover and win on the road. They need a bounce back performance. They got to establish the run. So I'll take them to win. And you know what? Give me a Jalen Hurts tush push touchdown.
Oh, yeah. Well, Jalen Hurts
from Saquon.
A Jalen Hurts rushing touchdown is a good one. But the spread, it's almost a pick'em game. It's kind of surprising, right? So I would take I'm going to take the Packers actually to win tonight.
All right. And final question for you guys. Tomorrow, Leonardo DiCaprio turns 51. Since we'll be off, I'll ask you today, what are your top 3 Leo movies? Because he has so many.
I'll go with Blood Diamond, Catch Me If You Can, and I'll just go with the obvious, Titanic.
Obvious. You like that movie?
Titanic?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't mind it.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know. We know what your movie choice is here on the show, so it doesn't surprise me. I'm going to go with What's Eating Gilbert Grape. I thought that was a fantastic movie. Inception, I quite liked, and I'm going with Django and Chains. That movie was all the characters in that movie. There's so many of them that are really good. So, Cons, what about you?
Wolf of Wall Street would be up there.
That's a good one.
Departed and
Departed's good too.
The Quick and the Dead. Good Western movie, but there's so many.
Gangs of New York is another one I was just about to say.
Aviator's good too.
Blood Diamond.
Yeah.
I'm the only emotional guy here going with Titanic.
Yeah.
I knew how it ended. I didn't need to watch it.
Like, I didn't think Titanic was that good. Like, honestly, it had the soundtrack and stuff, but I'm like, plus Connor, like what Connor said.
Wife.
Like I don't know. I didn't think it was that like overly romantic, to be honest. Like, right? Was she dating someone on the boat?
Yeah, wasn't she with that?
Not sure it's the most romantic thing then. Hey, infidelity, awesome. Brownie, you'd live your life. But hey, nothing spells romance like infidelity. Sean Brown. November 10th. I like it.
That's funny.
Brownie, have yourself a good day. We will chat with you next week on the show. Let's get to the Con Man and the Sports 1440 update brought to you by Loca Gourmet Quality Markets. Guess what? Your fridge just got better. The 200 chef-prepared meals. Get them at loca.ca.
This is the Sports 1440 update.
Game day, the Oilers hosting the Blue Jackets down at Rogers Place. This one gets going at 6:30. Pre-game coverage 5:30 here on Sports 1440 with Andrew Walker, Jason Gregor, and Donovan Paulson. Elsewhere, Devils host the Islanders, Preds take on the Rangers, and the Golden Knights hosting the Panthers. In the NFL, Week 10 concludes with the Packers hosting the Eagles. Down gets going at 6:15. And in the association, busy night. You got the Lakers in Charlotte, Pistons host the Wizards, Spurs taking on the Bulls, Mavs and Bucks, Timberwolves in Utah, and the Clippers hosting the Atlanta Hawks. Coming up in hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear Cam Tate's 2-minute warning. Hear from members of the Oilers and another edition of Around the NHL with Steve Mears, voice of the Columbus Blue Jackets. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
Think your credit's not good enough for a new ride? Think again. Go Auto's car loan calculator is here to help. No commitments, no credit hits, just real answers. You tell us a few things, and we'll show you what you can afford. Text credit to 780-777-7777. That's credit to 780 all sevens. Go Auto. We do the math, so you can do the driving.
This hockey season, before every game, check out the pregame show with Andrew Walker on Sports 1440.
Monday afternoon.
Titan Supply, your only source for rigging, lifting, and hauling products. Visit titansupply.ca.
Top quality flooring, locally owned, and Canadian products from Beaulieu. Yeah, that's CFI.
Questions to serve you better, actionelectrical.net.
From free estimate to professional. Contact Custom Floors Inc. at customfloorsinc.ca.
I'm getting
Done it in the
McDonald's. You want
past.
anything?
Oh, yeah. I'll get I've got to get 2 cheeseburgers, medium fries, and a medium fountain drink for $9.99. Hey, maybe I'll eat 1 cheeseburger.
Goal.
Maybe I'll
priority, but it is.
I too.
Oh,
Well, I
free lifting.
delicious.
Be down.
So 2 cheeseburgers, fries, and drink?
Not be okay.
You were thinking out loud again. Get yourself a 2 cheeseburger meal for
Hand delivered.
$9.99 plus
Quick break.
tax
We'll
for
return.
limited
Threads
time
joins us on
only.
Oh,
the Gregor Show, presented by
Participating
PlayAlberta.ca.
McDonald's restaurants.
Don't look now, but I think we're being followed.
Oh, that's just my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Well, hey, goaltending.
In the last, I'd say, when you get it in a bag.
15% on select tires.
Brought to you by
Cool.
Plus, get up to $120.
334, J.
For Goodyear tires.
Anything else?
Get $50 off $150 service when you buy those tires.
Well, that's handy.
And the Giants as well.
Well, I love my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Book your appointment online today. Restrictions apply. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Sports 1440.
Folsom Prison Revisited. The story of one of the greatest concerts in history returns to the Jubilee Auditorium November 27th. Step back in time before, during, and after this iconic Johnny Cash performance. You'll relive an event that changed the life of Johnny Cash and changed music forever. Tickets at Ticketmaster.ca and the Jubilee box office. Brought to you by Stars and Stories Live.
Winter in Alberta doesn't mess around.
And neither does Titan Supply.
For over 50 years, we've earned the trust of our customers across a variety of industries.
Because we lead with integrity,
honesty,
and respect.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Brent from Titan Supply. When the weather hits hard,
we're fully stocked with rigging, lifting, and hauling gear that works as hard as you do.
Titan Supply.
Built on trust, driven by safety.
Serving Edmonton, Grand Prairie, Red Deer, and Calgary.
Let us help you face the weather the Titan way.
Visit titansupply.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. From weekend warriors to professional athletes, kids playing soccer to grandparents in the garden, rotator cuff tears and tendonitis to post-surgical knees and hips. We fix your body. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
From puck drop to kickoff, it's the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock Monday afternoon, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Also, of course, the Grey Cup is in Winnipeg, not Saskatchewan. And Winnipeg is definitely a little bit better to get hotels. And Ryderville will be having the Grey Cup soon enough again. But I'll say this. The Winnipeggers who bought tickets to the Grey Cup will likely be able to sell theirs fairly easy because there's a province directly to the west that will be gladly to take some tickets. Because the one thing I can say about Rider fans, they will travel well to the Grey Cup when their team is in it. So I have no doubt that those who purchased tickets as a Bomber fan, thinking that the team was going to be in it, will be like, I think I found someone who will buy them. Now, you might not be able to, rape and pillage them on the cost. If you want to be, hey, get what you pay for. Don't make any money. Don't lose any money off it. You'll probably just be fine. It is the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca. We got Steve Mears coming up momentarily. Columbus, they got a little bit of an injury, but they got more of an illness. They had 4 of their forwards not on the ice this morning just because their coach isn't sure if they'll be able to play tonight. Wood wasn't on the ice. The tough guy Olivier wasn't on the ice. Now Sean Monahan also wasn't on the ice, but Monahan has been dealing with an injury. And I think we'll find out from Steve here momentarily that his absence was maybe due a little bit more to injury than it was to illness. But we'll see who can go or who can't tonight. Cole Sillinger also wasn't on the ice, so you might see in their lineup tonight guys like Isaac Lundestrom as well as Zach Aston-Reese. They're their 2 extra forwards. Even former Oil King defenseman Dyson Mayo is on their team right now as Gabranson got injured last week. So he is out now a while and we'll see, but they're a little bit banged up. They're going to go Greaves in net, but the one line that's really exciting, that Marchenko, Fantilli, Voronkov line, when they're out there, the Oilers got to be aware because those guys can make plays. They can dangle. They're exciting to watch. And as Woodley talked about, watch them. They like to pass off the pads of a goalie where you shoot the pad. It's called for a lot of people, you come down, let's say the right side, you shoot to the far pad, knowing that the goalie really doesn't have much option. You shoot there, the goalie tries to kick it out, but then the guy attacks looking purposely for a rebound on that play. So that's something that they've done quite well, and look for that tonight. Let's get to the 2-minute warning with Cam Tate, brought to you by Legacy Heating and Cooling. Weather rates never change. No overtime charges. That's how you build a legacy at legacyheating.ca.
There are defeats, and then there are humiliations. Saturday night, the Edmonton Oilers met the latter head-on. A 9-1 loss that left even the most faithful fans staring into their coffee the next morning, trying to make sense of it. It wasn't just a score. It was a mirror, showing a team stripped of rhythm, confidence, and perhaps a little pride. You could almost feel the echoes of frustration ripple across living rooms from Jasper Avenue to Leduc as televisions flickered off before the third period ended. For the players, the drive home must have been silent, save for the hum of engines and the heavy weight of reflection. But maybe, in this week of remembrance, there's something to learn from it. Because humiliation, in sport or in life, is never the final word. It's the first whisper of, humility. And humility, if we listen, is the start of getting better. Each November, Canada pauses, just for a minute. A sacred, shared silence for the men and women who never got the chance to fix it next time. They didn't face a scoreboard. They faced history's darkest hours. Dieppe, Juno Beach, Ortona. They played not for points, but for freedom itself. And the poppy we pinned to our coats this week? That tiny red bloom isn't decoration. It's a promise that we remember, that we understand the gift they gave, the right to gather, to cheer, even to be disappointed by a hockey score. Yes, comparing the two may seem a stretch, but both, soldier and skater, are tested by the same truth, that character is proven not in comfort, but in response. So when you see that 9-1 squirrel, don't treat it as an ending. Think of it as a beginning, a chance to rise again. And when you pin that poppy to your lapel this week, don't do it out of habit. Do it from gratitude for those who gave everything so we could have another tomorrow. Even if that tomorrow starts tonight against Columbus. Because others, long ago, made sure that recovery in the game of hockey, that next opening face-off, is even possible. Lest we forget. 2-minute warning, Gregor, Halley, Kruger, Tate. Weekdays, Sports 1440.
It is very true, I think, and we are off tomorrow for Remembrance Day, that the opportunity to have a second chance is wonderful, and the brave heroes who fought for that, because, and many of them, unfortunately, they didn't get the second opportunity. It's the one thing I would never, when someone tries to suggest in sports that you're going to war, no, you're not, because here's the very simple reason why. When you compete in sports, there's a big element of fun. There's no fun in war. Even when you win, you are scarred. You win, you have nightmares of some of the people you had to murder just to win. While there's a winner, many of those who fought don't feel like a winner. Because when you win, you celebrate and you're excited and you smile and you laugh. And obviously when the war ended, people were smiling because the war was over, thankfully. And so many lost their lives for it. And I think it's always important to never mention, when you're going into battle in a sporting event. I think people forget, and I don't even think they do it purposely, but when you go to battle in the war field, even when you're winning, you're losing. Because you can have the person right beside you, while you make it, you watch them die. Right? In a game of sports, when you win, it's awesome. Right? It's euphoria all the time. And all your teammates celebrate with you. That's the major difference. So to all of those who are currently actively serving, those who served in the past, people who lost loved ones, we definitely, a day before we think about it, and hope that those type of events, especially on a global world war stage, never occur again. And it's something you have to be aware of, because when it happened, and not just once, it's happened multiple times, and it's obviously ongoing right now in different parts of the world that don't necessarily involve Canada. Some Canadians have relatives involved for sure, right, in Gaza and other places, and it is not pretty. But all I would say as a sports person, please try to refrain from ever comparing sports to war. Like when I hear, oh yeah, we're going into battle or we're going to war, like I don't think I think you're, and not even on purposely, but I think people are forgetting that the real wars and the real battles, there's no fun involved, right? You're just trying to survive. That's it. Take a quick break. We'll come back on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Michelle and Colette are sisters who don't agree on much, especially when it comes to which hockey team is the best.
Edmonton is the best, baby. Vancouver's #1.
Even when it comes to meat snacks from Wilhawks.
I love the Harris Schwiener. The ham sausage rules.
But they will agree
Wilhawk beef jerky is the best.
it might just be the only thing Alberta hockey fans can agree on.
Others can try to imitate, but no one can duplicate Wilhawk beef jerky. Only available in the Duke. Get yours today, because you don't win friends with salad.
Edmonton Electrical Solar Team is now making a play for sustainability and savings. They're specialists in powering up for a greener future.
That's the strategy, designing and installing high-efficiency solar panels. They're helping homes and businesses combat rising utility costs by harnessing the power of the sun.
A smart move for efficiency and the environment. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions, take one for Gene Principe. Are you ready, Gene?
Ready? I'm not just here to make a thermo a couple of bucks. I'd never just microphone it in.
Take one.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for furnace season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep, unlike a furnace, I have no filter.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
Don't look now, but I think we're being followed.
Oh, that's just my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Well, they're driving pretty close.
Because they're attached.
Save up to 15% on select tires until December 13th.
Cool.
Plus, get up to $125 off a set of 4 Goodyear tires.
Anything else?
Get $50 off a $150 service when you buy those tires.
Well, that's handy.
Yep.
And weird.
Well, I love my Fountain Tire sidecar.
Book your appointment online today. Restrictions apply. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Craving a dining experience that rises above the rest? Head to Summit Restaurant, nestled in the heart of the Silent Ice Center, and just minutes from South Edmonton Commons. Savor Summit's exceptional house-made pizza, delectable entrees, and expertly crafted cocktails, all served in a stylish, modern atmosphere. For a casual meal or a special night on the town, Summit Restaurant offers a straightforward yet refined experience, where every bite and sip reflects our dedication to quality. Elevate your dining experience. Visit Summit Restaurant tonight.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The job won't wait. Why should you? At AWS Welding Supplies and Repairs, conveniently located in Nisku, we've got everything you need to get it done. From product sales to servicing and calibrating machines, we're your one-stop shop. We're a proud, locally owned and operated business, committed to serving our community with a proven track record of customer service. Don't let a broken tool slow you down. We offer fast repairs and free same-day delivery of in-stock items to Leduc, Nisku, and South Edmonton. AWS Welding. We make it happen.
Black Friday is on now at GMC. Get a $1,000 Black Friday bonus on all 2025 and 2026 GMC models at participating dealers. Whether it's the bold Sierra 1500 Elevation Crew Cab, the rugged Sierra 2500 HD AT4X, the versatile Canyon, or the adventure-ready Terrain Elevation all-wheel drive. Every drive delivers unstoppable performance and premium comfort. Get your $1,000 Black Friday bonus now. Conditions apply. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Hand delivering a hamper to a family in need fills everyone's hearts with joy. Be part of the Holiday Hamper program. Adopt a local family and see the difference your groceries and gifts make firsthand. Sign up today at holidayhamper.ca.
Jason Gregor isn't just a sports guy. He's a community builder. With over $2 million raised for local charities. And his Gregor Foundation, he's making a difference on and off the air. Check out Gregor weekday afternoons on Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Culligan for all your residential water needs. Your local water treatment company, more than just big bottles, Culligan.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
We roll through. Welcome back Monday afternoon. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley. It is game day. Remember, Order fans, tonight is the Prime game. So you need Prime if you want to watch the game. They take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Former Order Chris Pronger is in town. He'll be on the broadcast crew tonight. Let's go around the NHL, brought to you by McDonald's. And remember, Fan Day deals Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. You can get a Big Mac, a McChicken, filet of fish fan deal for only $4.49 plus tax. Only, though, through the McDonald's app. So great savings, great deal. Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays during the hockey season with McDonald's. And the Orders tonight will take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. We won't know probably until warm-up who is in the lineup, as the Blue Jackets have a little bit of an illness going through the room. Steve Mears joins us, voice of the Blue Jackets. Steve, good afternoon. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So, Steve, walking around with a mask on maybe a little bit. It seems like they got the flu bug going around, Wood and Olivier Sillinger, so guys on different lines. The Dean Evison kind of joked about it, tried to make the best out of a tough situation. He's not even sure what his lineup's going to be because he's not really going to know until guys wake up from their nap who feels good enough to play.
Yeah, it's that time of year, isn't it? And it's just going around, and especially when you're in the middle of a week-long road trip where you're playing 5 games, 5 time zone changes, and sleep is lacking. Every team is going through it in some variation. And just the time of year and some cold weather and everything. So, yeah, apparently flu bug going around the team. Hopefully it stays out of the broadcast booth, but we'll see what the lineup is like. We'll obviously know at some point here pretty soon. But the good news is the Jackets have some options, and they got some players who have a ton of experience at the NHL level that they have no problem plugging in there. But right now they're just looking for the right combination for lines 2, 3, and 4. I think their top line, Voronkov, Fantilli, and Marchenko, coming off a great game, combined for 8 points on Saturday against Vancouver. They're looking for the other lines to click, and they're trying to find the right combinations. And now it's another wrench into those plans when you have potential guys out.
Well, yeah, that line has been great. And we had Kevin Woodley on. He was describing how they love at times. They got like set plays that they pass to each other off the goalie pads, for goodness sakes. And so it's obviously working very well. I was looking at Columbus's numbers, and their 5-on-5 play looks pretty good. They've outscored teams 33-28. But, Steve, it's really been their special teams. Like, their power play is not very good at 14%. They don't get a ton of power play chances. And their penalty kills at 70%. Like, when your power play and penalty killer combined 85%, it's not good. And essentially, is it safe to say, like, special teams is the reason why that this team is not 3-4 games above 500?
Yeah, it's a big one. It certainly is a big one, and that was an area that they knew they had to be better at last year, 22nd in the league in both categories. And unfortunately, really rough start on the PK. The good news is the last handful of games, it has been better. And I thought it might have been its best on Saturday against Vancouver. They killed off 4 penalties. One of them was a Matthew Olivier major penalty against the Canucks. And a huge moment. And not only just did they kill it off, they looked as good as they have on the PK all season long. But still trying to find the right mix on the power play. For one thing for me is Adam Fantilli is not on the top power play unit. I think that's one option that they haven't really explored yet that I would probably take a look at. You've got Monahan, you've got Voronkov in front. Marchenko is going to be out there for sure. Werenski's a really good power play quarterback. Kent Johnson works the right side or the left. But it just isn't clicking right now. And you can have all these like good looking power plays and posts that are hit. And hey, we had this many shots on goal. But as you know, it's all about converting and just finding a way to get an ugly goal. And they just have not been able to score with consistency on the power play. As you said, especially defensively, 5-on-5, great. 5-on-5 offense has cooled off a little bit the last few games, but 5-on-5, this team has looked really sharp. It's the special teams and just some game management issues, giving up goals at the wrong times of games, not getting a key save, that sort of thing. That's why they're at 500.
The goaltending is being split right down the middle. 7 starts each for Greaves and Merzlikins. Their numbers are pretty similar. Does the play match their numbers?
Yeah, I think so. Pleasant surprise. I think we had no idea how this was going to go. We had no idea who was going to start the first game, who was going to get the bulk of the work. And I think it's a healthy competition, and it's pushed both players. Elvis Merzlikins got off to the best start of his career, and it has been an even split, as you've said, with the rotation. So, and we're looking at another one here because you've got Jet tonight against Edmonton, and then it's a game in Seattle tomorrow where for sure Elvis Merzlikins is going to go. So, very impressive as far as the save percentage. I think the team save percentage is 6th best in the league. Last year, they were consistently one of the worst as far as team save percentage. So, very pleasant surprise. Elvis has been with the Blue Jackets a long time. He's been solid. And then you got Jet Greaves. And if you look at his numbers, Jet and his, whatever it is, 920 career save percentage in the NHL. He doesn't have a ton of experience, under 30 games, but every time he has gotten in there, he's given the Blue Jackets a chance to win. And we remember what he did last year in those last 5 starts. Jackets won all 5 of them and came within 2 points of making the Stanley Cup playoffs somewhat miraculously. And a lot of that was because of Jet Greaves. He gave up 5 goals in those 5 games and was the backbone of the team when he was just called up from Cleveland. And the Jackets were looking for an answer in goal, and he provided it.
Well, yeah, he definitely has. They're going to face an Oilers team that got embarrassed, to put it lightly, on Saturday night against the Colorado Avalanche. So I'm sure they will be hungry. But at the same time, they might be a team that if you get up on them early, frustration might peak here. How has Columbus fared on the road this year?
Yeah, it's a really good start on the road, and that was another area. They struggled so much on the road last season and had a really good start in their first 4 games with an opening road trip. They lost the first road game and then kind of got goalied in that one by UC Soros. That was the opening game of the season in Nashville, and then went on to win the next 4. So, really, really good play on the road earlier. Now, this has been a tough trip here where they have left points on the table. This 5-game stretch started on Long Island. They had a 2-1 lead late. They gave up 2 quick goals and ended up losing in regulation. Thought they were going to get 2 points. They end up with 0, and it was a 3-2 final. Some bad moments against Calgary, 5-1 loss, and then a game that they probably should have won on Saturday against Vancouver, where they, again, had a lead, but they give up goals at the wrong time, or they don't get a save, or it's just like a game management type thing where you're up by a goal and you're giving up 2-on-1s and odd man breaks going the other way. And that's the time to be conservative, right? So Dean Evans has talked about game management. And as far as tonight is concerned, he's talked a lot about the Blue Jackets needing to be hungry as well. They should be pissed off, as he said. Everyone's talking about Edmonton and 9-1 loss, and the Oilers will be motivated, angry bunch here tonight. Well, the Blue Jackets should be too. I mean, they have thrown a lot of points away here, and they should be above 500. So I would expect a motivated Blue Jackets team as well.
You mentioned that top line and how creative they are. And, Marchenko, a lot of people, like last year, Columbus had a lot of guys kind of announce themselves as, hey, you know what, we're here and we're pretty good. Right? How do you sense a different level of expectation internally and externally on guys like Marchenko and Voronkov and others to say, hey, now like Columbus has got some top end guys?
Yeah, I think Marchenko established himself, and I'd say Fantilli as well last year. They were both 30 goal scorers, and I thought Kirill Marchenko was one of the breakout players of the entire NHL, kind of like Protas in Washington, Holloway in St. Louis, like a guy who came in, young player, took his game from one level to the next level. And Marchenko definitely did that last season, and now he's been hot lately. He's got 3 goals in the last 2 games, points in 7 straight, and is a threat out there all the time. And to me, it looks like he's gained another step as far as skating is concerned. He's even more explosive. And whether it's Sean Monahan in the middle or now, as of last game, it's Adam Fantilli as the number 1 center. I just think there's a lot of chemistry there, and there's a lot of production from Voronkov, Fantilli, Marchenko. We saw that last year. Sean Monahan got hurt in January. He missed pretty much the entire second half of the season. Adam Fantilli jumped up and was the team's number 1 center, and they didn't miss a beat. They continued to produce. So that was really the coming out party for Adam Fantilli at the NHL level. And that's why Dean Evison has put those guys back together. And they're looking for that type of production like they got the other night against Vancouver. But as I said, lines 2, 3, and 4, there are some other players who have got to convert and got to get going. Boone Jenner, Kent Johnson, Voronkov got a couple of points in the last game, but they need more And you certainly need more if you're going up against this Edmonton Oilers team that's going to be motivated tonight.
You mentioned Boone Jenner. What's been missing in his game early on this year?
Yeah, the production hasn't been there. The effort certainly is. The good news with him is that he's bringing so many other elements, and he'll play a blue-collar game. You know, he's a former 30-goal scorer, has a bunch of 20-goal seasons. Just the goals haven't been there, and some of it's some tough luck. You see some posts. It's like kind of reminds me of Adam Fantilli, too, who's got, I think, no goals in the last 8 games, but there have been so many chances and getting robbed by a goaltender, or just like missing by an inch, and here hitting a crossbar here and there. So Boone's kind of going through that right now. Every player is going to have a stretch like that, but I think that's a player, he along with Kent Johnson, those are 2 that I'm circling that have gotten cold here a little bit as far as the production is concerned, and the Blue Jackets, just they need some more of that scoring. Cole Sillinger has only a couple of goals this season. Charlie Coyle's another guy who's been doing so much more than just score and put up points. Face-offs, defense, all the little power play time here and there, responsible, but they need some 5-on-5 offense from these support players, not just Marchenko and Voronkov and Fantilli.
Steve, enjoy the game and hopefully avoid the sickness.
Yeah, I'm doing okay so far. It's good to be here in Edmonton, especially with this nice weather. So we are rolling along here on this road trip, but it's great talking hockey with you, and I appreciate you having me.
Thanks, man. That is Steve Mears, voice of the Blue Jackets. Got a little bit of the flu bug going around their team, so won't really know the lineup until warm-up, probably closer to 6 o'clock. Remember, it's an early puck drop tonight around 6:40, and the game is on Prime. So if you get home and you're going to start yelling at your TV because it's not on TV, I can't find the channel, it's because it's the Monday Night Prime game. Quick break. We'll return on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
And now Action Electrical's testing team is on defense duty. They're the guardians of safety and compliance, a critical part of any lineup.
Precisely. They perform rigorous safety and code compliance testing for commercial operations. Think of them as the referees, ensuring everything is up to standard before disaster strikes.
Their preventative plays are legendary, spotting faults early. Hire the Action Electrical team to bring home a win for your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
It's a new season, Edmonton, which means it's time for new offers. Play Alberta is offering odds boosts on every Oilers game all season long. This is your chance to score big. And for a limited time only, our listeners can get an exclusive $50 free bet when they deposit $50 using code Gregor50. That's code Gregor50 for an exclusive $50 free bet. Alberta wins with Play Alberta. Must be 18 plus to play. If you gamble, please use your game sense. PlayAlberta.ca.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
Get Black Friday prices now at The Brick. Skip the line and save big. Get 65% off genuine leather and reclining sofas when you buy the matching Love Cedar chair. Plus, get up to 25% off bedroom and dining furniture. And buy more, save more. Get up to an extra $1,000 off select major kitchen appliances. Mattresses are up to 40% off, and with every mattress purchase, you're entered for a chance to win a cruise. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Looking for the perfect used ride? Now's the time. Drive away for as little as $25 bi-weekly. Go Auto has over 7,500 used vehicles in stock with something for everyone. From budget-friendly cars and road trip-ready SUVs to powerful work-ready trucks. With around 70 locations across Canada, your next vehicle is closer than you think. Whether you're upgrading, downsizing, or buying for the first time, we've got the right ride at the right price. But don't wait. These deals won't stick around forever. Start shopping today at goauto.ca.
Looking for the perfect gift?
Give the gift of great taste with a Loca Quality Market gift card. Redeemable at any Loca Quality Market or Loca operated restaurant. It's a treat for food lovers. Ready anytime. Grab yours today at loca.ca.
At Fountain Tire, get up to 15% off select tires, up to $125 off a set of 4 select Goodyear tires, and $50 off $150 service until December 13th. Restrictions apply. Book today. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together, Canada.
Can an energy provider make you feel carefree? We think so, because who doesn't like to be surrounded by good energy? Great rates, always. Gimmicks, never. Perks that reward your loyalty, and energy experts who know what's what. Carefree just feels good. Encore by EPCOR, your carefree electricity and natural gas provider.
Customers are free to purchase natural gas or electricity services from a retailer of their choice. For list of retailers, visit ucahelps.alberta.ca or call 310-4822 toll free.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Elks Nation, two weekly podcast with Eddie Steele and Declan Kruger, breaking down the green and gold, the most in-depth WE football coverage on YouTube and anywhere you get your podcasts, elksnation.ca.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.442 rolling through. Game day, Sports 1440. Also, NFL game tonight. Be a pretty good matchup, the Packers and the Eagles. So any of you need help in your fantasy? Cons, did you need anything to help you win? Or have you won or lost?
Oh, Gregor, I won by 10:30 a.m. yesterday. I had Jonathan Taylor and Drake London.
Oh, yeah, that's not
70
bad.
points, give or take. It was a good start. But no, mine are all decided. I'm going to go 2-1 on the week.
Oh, all right.
Damn you, Cameron Dicker. How about you?
Dicker the kicker. Yeah, no, I won in my one, and then I'm still alive in the Guillotine League. We're down to 8 guys. So it's just a different one where you just like it's not like you just have to be better than one person remaining. So your odds still next week I just got to finish 7th out of 8. That's all you need. It's not. It sounds that easy, but obviously somebody can't be that. So and now it gets a little bit more competitive. There's lots of points because as the guy gets eliminated, now his guys go on the waiver wire, and you can. Although the team that lost, there's not a ton of guys. I can see why his team lost. No offense, Neil, but I'm surprised you made it this long. Yeah, it was a tough one. He lost to me head up in our one league, and then in our other Guillotine League, he's out. So tough one for the Endmeister. So that's how it goes, buddy. That's how it goes. And I didn't have anybody have well, actually, I had the Seahawks defense in my one league, and they were for a while there, they were just absolutely demolishing it because they had the shutout, they had the 2 touchdowns. Because he was their defensive lineman, first guy, only the 4th player ever to have 2 defensive touchdowns in a game as returns, and he scored more touchdowns himself than a lot of teams did this past weekend in the NFL. It's wild. What about the Bills? Who would have thought that, man? Did they get spanked in that game? Really bad. And so, Cons, as a Charger fan, when you look ahead to this weekend, the Broncos are playing the Chiefs, right? The Chiefs just had the bye. And if you look at it, you could say, man, if the Broncos win, that could almost eliminate the Chiefs from catching then they would be what? 8-9-2, and the Chiefs would be 5-5.
Yeah.
You'd almost say good night, Irene, to catching them. And if you're the Chargers, geez, the Chiefs lose now and we win. We're 3 games up on them with 7 games to go. Pretty good odds. Or do you say, no. We want to finish first, so let's have the Chiefs beat the Broncos and we'll just take care of our business.
Oh, I think it's win-win for me personally. I mean, I'll find a way to spin it in a positive either way. I would like for the Chiefs' reign of terror to be over, but I feel like either way, they still have a good chance to track down Jacksonville, right? The Jags, maybe. Chargers play the Jags this weekend. So if they hand the Jags a loss and then the Chiefs lose, nothing really changes standing-wise. So I think I'd like maybe then to see the Chiefs find a way to... actually, no. Chiefs got to lose. they're still a threat. If they get in the playoffs, they're too good. So go Broncos, I suppose.
All right.
Feels weird to
Did
say.
you guys spray something over there? Like it's like a chemical infusion all of a sudden in studio here. It reeks. The hell is that? You guys spraying some?
I thought it was like the crisps I brought over. I was a little worried that I was that guy that brought in really bad smelling food, but you guys say it's chemical. No, I have no idea what it is.
Smells like some cleaning, like metal surface thing. Like, I don't know, unless I'm having a stroke, which I hope not. But Declan smells it too. Okay, good. Then I'm not having the odds of both of us having an ailment at the same time are pretty low. But it really reeks all of a sudden in here. It's not flatulence. I know that. So anyway, let's hear from the maybe it's just the aroma from the Order game on Saturday night just making its way wafting across the city, because that was not good. Let's get to the oil report, brought to you by Go Auto, proudly partnered with Connor McDavid since 2016, and they've donated over $24.1 million to local charities. They love to give back where they work. That's Go Auto. Stuart Skinner had some talk to Skinner about where does he feel his game is at right now?
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty good. Obviously, I really didn't like that second goal last game. I feel like my game's been pretty consistent. It's been pretty good, but I definitely got a lot of work in a lot of work here to do. I got to make some timely saves. Some saves when we do give up a breakaway that, I got to be the guy to come up with a save. In Dallas, you got to come up with a shootout save. Maybe that gives us, the extra point. So there's all these little things. And especially as a goaltender, when you get those chances to bail out your team or a chance just to, make a timely save, it can cost you a point, 2 points. So yeah, I think for me, I just got to keep on trying to grow my game, keep on trying to continue my growth and play as hard as I can. I love battling for the guys out there. They battle so hard for me. So I got to do the same.
What about the trust of his teammates? Coach was asked about trusting. Where does trust come in from a goaltender? Because you know what? You let in one bad goal and, you can make 5 good saves. People seem to focus on the bad goal. Where does he think, you feel a sense of having trust of your teammates?
I mean, you always gotta earn trust. It's not something that's just given to you. No matter who you are, no matter what situation you're in, you're always trying to earn the trust of your teammates. And yeah, so we're just continuing to battle here, continue to work on our game and keep on earning the trust of the guys, but also, yeah, I mean, we're just trying to find ways to win games right now. And I think tonight's a really good opportunity for us to have a bounce back game here.
Yeah, they'll want one. Now we'll get to head coach Chris Knobloch. Just, do they have enough guys playing at a high enough level to get the team game that they want?
No, I don't think so. I think, the things that Leon's talking about are the things that can be done easily. Like just your work ethic. You have a stick on the ice. You're skating. You finish your check. You're in position. Like those things don't take a whole lot of talent. It's not that you're threading a pass or somebody's skate. Or you're blowing by wide. Or it's not those things. It's the little things. And giving up 9 goals. Obviously, there's a lot of details that weren't being done or getting done, and certainly saw it in the St. Louis game, the Dallas game, where a lot of things that are expected for us to do, no matter if you're an all-star or if you're a fourth line forward, whatever it is, it's expected that everyone does it. And right now, those little things aren't getting done. So we need to pay a little more attention to those details. And after a game like Colorado, hopefully that everyone's got are on high alert.
Yeah, you would hope so. What about, is it getting enough out of Trent Frederick?
We would like more out of Trent. I think he feels that he's not playing up the way he should be playing. What's Trent's game? Yes, he should be chipping in occasionally offensively. We'd probably expect, 10, 15 goals from him would be what we would expect from him. but also a little more tenacity, a little more physicality. I don't think he's been moving his feet as well as he should be. And the more he's moving his feet, the more he's getting in on the forecheck, breaking up plays, allowing a little more time in the offensive zone. So, and also when the guys that he's playing with are playing better too, gives him an opportunity. So, yeah, there's a lot of guys in that on our team that can step up, and he is one of them.
Yeah. Oh, I like the last line. There are lots of guys who can step up, and he is one. And what about, I asked him about their blue line and what he expected from his blue line and what he's received from his blue line probably isn't matching early this year.
I think we've got off to a slow start. Our defense group included. And, there's stretches where one guy was playing but poorly and then the next guy, and then collectively just not all giving everything they got. Not that they don't care. That's not that at all. But just a lot of it is the confidence on getting the job done. And, we feel our strength. Obviously, Connor and Leon are the identity of our team. They are when you think of the Edmonton Oilers, those are the two names that pop out. But right after that, it should be our 6 defensemen that are playing each night, because we feel that they can be among the best in the league every single night.
And they should be, right? I think it's fine to have realistic expectations from your team. And McDavid and Draisaitl for sure. And then your defense core. Definitely they need a little bit more. And we'll see if they I think eventually, I don't think all of their talent is just eroded in 1 3-month span. That would be utterly shocking, because it's not like, all the guys are 38 plus and they've all aged at the same time. No. Right? I watch them play. They're skating. I was looking at NHL Edge. It's not like guys are way slower than they were last season. They're just not playing up to their potential right now. Their decisions with and without the puck aren't great. Jake Wallman is he's probably pressing a little bit offensively, although he does have 6 points in 10 games. Jake Wallman essentially leads the Oilers in 5-on-5 scoring. He's only played 10 games. He has 6 points. That's tied for the team lead. The other guys played 16. So, but, at times you try to do, it's the old adage of trying to do too much. And suddenly he is jumping in when maybe he just has to wait. And sometimes that happens when you're forcing things. And, the best I remember hearing from defense coaches, you got to live to fight another shift. You don't have to win the game. You don't have to do it on that shift. Now, sometimes you're going to have to go in a 50-50 play. But if it's a 30-70, even if you want to go, then don't go. So, hey, Gregor, I saw Knoblauch taking a lot of heat for that last comment. I'm not really sure why. The team and individual defense is horrific. It's obvious to me that if those 6 play better, the Oilers are in better shape. Maybe I'm missing something. Dylan, you're not missing anything. I think people online are the ones who miss it. They don't understand. They somehow took it as a negative thought that the coach says, hey, we have high expectations for a defense core. They're that good. And I agree wholeheartedly. They are good. They should be if you're saying McDavid and Draisaitl are your key focus, who would disagree with that? But then probably the next best skilled players are collectively on your blue line, especially with Zach Hyman out of the lineup. So that would be it. I don't have an issue with it that at all. Do you, Connor?
No, I don't think so. I mean, even when I've coached and, you do things in the past, you're going to be a little bit more critical of the guys that can be better and the ones that you have high expectations for. So, I mean, it's not just one position. It's not one player on this team, but yeah, on the back end as a whole, Evan Bouchard would be the one that comes to mind at first. He can be better. I think, at times Darnell Nurse can be better. They all as a whole can be better. And, we've seen it. We've seen it in the playoffs the last couple of years here. Just got to find that consistency and do it more often. So no, I wouldn't disagree with that statement.
No, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a high bar of expectations for certain players who have shown that that's a bar they can reach. I'm not having high unrealistic expectations for a rookie. The rookie's got to play better. They're the ones holding it back. Give me a break. I would never do that as an analyst. I think it's unfair. I don't look at any rookie on this team that should be a difference maker. They got to be a complimentary guy. I haven't seen Savoy or Howard doing anything egregious that makes me think, you know what, they're really hurting the team. Right? Like Howard had that little stretch where he took like 4 penalties in 5 games, and sure, he wouldn't have liked it, but I think they only got scored on one of them, so it's not, again, it wasn't crushing your team. Other than that, I like they're complimentary guys, they're rookies. I'm like, man, the fact that they're just surviving at the NHL level right now is kind of considered a win for me. So that's how I view young players early on. I try to have low expectations for them, just because it's unfair too often and just because other rookies around the league are scoring doesn't mean that Howard, if you put him in the top 6, would score all the time. Right now, if the coach want to try it, sure. Is he ready for it? Not all rookies are ready. Everybody's at a different time, right? Leon Draisaitl wasn't ready at 19, right? It wasn't. Maybe a better player at 20. It happens. Some guys aren't ready till they're 22 or 3. Some 25. There's no, just because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean that your rookie is ready to do it. Just kind of like your kid. Right? There's kids in the block who do things that your kid isn't doing just yet. Doesn't mean they won't get there. They're just not there yet. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Northgate Buick GMC. November to remember. Save thousands on new and pre-owned inventory. Great selection, better people, northgategm.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day Oilers and Jackets down at Rogers Place. Puck drop just after 6:30. We've got pregame coverage coming your way at 5:30 with Andrew Walker, Jason Gregor, Landon Ferraro, and Donovan Paulson. Elsewhere around the NHL, Devils host the Islanders, Preds meet the Rangers, and the Golden Knights taking on the Panthers just after 8 o'clock. In the NFL, Week 10 wraps up tonight out at Lambeau. Packers and Eagles kick off in that one set for 6:15. Off the field, the New York Giants firing head coach Brian Daboll on Monday, moving on from him midway through his 4th season after they dropped to 2-8 with a loss in Chicago. Offensive coordinator Mike Kafka was named interim replacement. In the association, you got the Lakers taking on the Hornets, Pistons host the Wizards, Trailblazers meet the Magic, Heat, Cavs, Spurs, Bulls, Mavericks, Bucks, the Pelicans in Phoenix, Jazz host the Timberwolves, and the Hawks taking on the Clippers. Coming up in hour 4 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll hear from Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
What a performance by Action Electrical today. Their projects team kicked things off, designing and building with unmatched skill.
Then the service team swoops in for those crucial repairs and maintenance. And don't forget the testing team, ensuring everything's safe and sound before the solar team scores with sustainable energy.
A complete team effort. Have Action Electrical bring home a win for you and your project. Visit actionelectrical.net.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why. We start with a velvety, tangy, and subtly sweet sauce. Then it's our better ingredients: fresh, never frozen original dough, juicy grilled chicken, and crunchy green peppers and onions. Sounds delicious, right? Well, wait till you try it. It's butter chicken made better. Order your large butter chicken pizza today for only $19.99. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Proudly locally owned and operated.
In the new year with a Canadian country legend. December 31st, in concert at the Silent Ice Center in Nisku. Brett Kissel. She drives me crazy. Multiple CCMA and Juno Award winner, platinum selling recording artist, and top 10 hitmaker. Celebrate the new year in Alberta, country style. Bring your friends, your cowboy boots, and your party spirit for a night full of hits, celebration, and unforgettable memories. The countdown to 2026 starts with Brett Kissel live on stage. Get your tickets now at silenticecenter.com/events.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
I'm getting McDonald's. You want anything?
Oh, yeah. I've got to get 2 cheeseburgers, medium fries, and a medium fountain drink for $9.99. Hey, maybe I'll eat 1 cheeseburger right away and save one for later. Maybe I'll stack them and eat them both at once. Options. Oh, delicious, delicious options.
So 2 cheeseburgers, fries, and drink?
How'd you know?
You were thinking out loud again. Get yourself a 2 cheeseburger meal for just $9.99 plus tax for a limited time only at participating McDonald's restaurants.
They sure saw you coming. You went in for about $200 in auto service, and by the time Johnny Slick out front was done telling you everything he thought you should have replaced, you got hosed for $3,000. Big Toy Shop won't lie to you, inflate your bill, or waste your time. You'll know exactly what your service actually costs and when it's going to be done. Take your ride to Big Toy Shop, 8315 Argyle Road, 780-298-2797. Is your company drowning in paperwork and administrative tasks? Do you need more data to make better decisions? Nectar.io is your company's all-in-one solution for fleet and materials management, safety, time cards, and GIS-based project management. Now is the time to capture and transform field, site, and shop data into boardroom-level business intelligence, all with one login. Visit Nectar.io to book a demo today. Nectar.io, your business made better.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Northwest Crane, available for all your lifting and equipment needs, specializing in selling and servicing cranes. Get lifting at northwestcrane.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Well, Oiler fans are hoping there's a little bit more noise tonight for their Oilers team after that was a tough Saturday night for people. I know you get a lot of people texting, man, what a waste of my money, and I can understand that frustration. It's hard to counter that mindset after a game like that. Like, it wasn't really close ever. It was 2-0, and that was as close as the game was, and never that you didn't ever get a sense like, okay, Edmonton's got some momentum, they're going to come back here. Right? Like when Skinner made that save on McKinnon, the 5-on-3 at the end of the first, and then he robbed Lehkonen to start the second, you thought maybe, right? There was maybe, hey, okay, made some saves. No, did not happen. They didn't generate anything. It was a rare, brutal game for their power play, which hasn't happened very much this year, but that was just, everything was awful in that game, which kind of, I think, a microcosm of their season, where some games you're having bad defensive play, other games it's 5-on-5 scoring, other games it's goaltending. Well, this game, it was everything. And now there's no place to hide. There's no place to look and point finger at someone else. They got to look in the mirror, and we'll see how they come out tonight. And I say tonight, but realistically for me, it's this week. Because if they have a bounce back game tonight and play well, and then go into Philadelphia and the same issues are still there, then to me, that means nothing. It means they're like, okay, you know what? For one game, we're going to show up, and then we'll get back to being ho-hum. That can't happen anymore. Like you're almost coming up on 20% of the season, right? Like tonight will be 20% of the season, actually a little bit more than that. So it is time for the Oilers to wake up for sure. It's time now for the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Reminder, the Gregor Show is always brought to you by PlayAlberta.ca. Get in the game, and if you go to PlayAlberta.ca, they still have the Oilers as a fairly heavy favorite tonight. So we'll see if that happens at PlayAlberta.ca. Let's get to the Spec Report brought to you by GS Construction, your underground infrastructure specialists. Where? From running water to the road that you're driving on right now. They get the underground stuff so you can get home. GS Construction. Mark Spector from Rogers Sportsnet joins us. Spec, how you doing?
You know, you're so negative, Jason. I think the penalty kill was really good against Colorado. Didn't they go like perfect on 8 attempts or something?
Oh, they might have, Spec. I'll be honest, I wasn't really. You're right, though. Hey, Noah Philp, if we're looking for positives, Noah Philp killed almost 5 minutes of penalty killing time in that game. So I would think maybe with Nuge and Hopkins out, look for Noah Philp to get a little bit more PK time.
Yeah, that's a good spot. Anyway, no, listen, there's what you just said was, I think one of the more pertinent things is sure, win tonight, great. Play well tonight, sure, good. But yeah, you got a road trip coming up that starts with stops in Philly and Columbus, 2 teams that aren't great. So you should be able to start that road trip off on the right. You're good. It's a 7-game trip that ends in Tampa and Florida. So you better win some early because it's going to be hard to win some late. So yes, this first part of this week here, it's an important week for the Oilers to get this ship back in the right spot here.
Oof, because yeah, it was speaking of a ship, it was looking like Forrest Gump and Jenny when he saw Captain Dan for the first time, because just crashed in. There was no one driving the boat, and it just crashed into shore, not looking good. It was a game that, the first 8-10 minutes actually they played well, but after that, Spec, did the wheels fall off quickly?
Well, it's funny, we were talking to Stu Skinner today, and I was pretty adamant about, I think I thought after the second goal that the team just stopped playing. Like they just lost. It's like, oh, here we go again. Our goalies let in another garbage goal against a really good team. And I thought the Oilers just noticeably sagged, and I'm blaming Stu Skinner's performance for that. But he did come back and make a giant save. They got a huge break on the offside call. Then the next period opens. He makes another giant save. And Stu Skinner said today, part of being a goalie is you have games where you let in a bleeder, but you make a whole bunch of killer saves and you're feeling pretty good about your game. But everybody else thinks you played terrible. And, I'm going to tell you, we've watched that too often with Stu Skinner. The bad goal surrounded by a bunch of good saves. It's in his in my thinking around Stu Skinner is the bad goal starting to rule the day, right? It really rules the day. Yeah, he did make a couple great saves after that, Jay. But you know what? Stop the ones you're supposed to stop and add in those great saves, and then you got a goalie.
Yeah, no, that's fair. And, but hey, the goalie was one element of their game. Their power play was junk. Their 5-on-5 scoring was junk. Their 5-on-5 defending was junk. Their pushback non-existent again, Spec. And that to me is like, if there was ever a time to get mad and take a dumb penalty, that's the game to do it. Like, what are you worried about? Oh, and like you said, hey, our penalty kill's playing great. Now I can take a selfish penalty, get a little ounce of flesh, maybe do something. Yeah. Nothing. It was crickets.
Well, and now I think you look to me, I personally look to the 2 toughest guys on your team, and that's Darnell Nurse and Trent Frederick. And neither guy, and at least Darnell Nurse is playing, close to top defensive minutes, and he's got a lot of things on his plate. I would expect a little pushback from him because he's a big, tough customer. But I'll tell you what, Trent Frederick's the guy that if he's not pushing back and playing physical, what else is he doing? I mean, we asked him about it right after the game, but I thought today, Jay, when you tweeted out the quote from Chris Knobloch, like, to me, sometimes you ask a coach about a player who's not going very good, and they don't really want to answer that because they don't want to lie to you, but they don't want to call their player out. Mm-hmm. And today, when asked if Trent Frederick has given this team enough, I thought Chris Knobloch jumped in with both feet and said, nope, he's not giving us enough. And here's all the things I want from him. Yeah. So sometimes you ask a coach that question and he's saying, thanks for the question, because I want to talk about this. And they've had about enough of the ghost of Trent Frederick, right? The ghost of Trent Frederick has been here since last trading deadline. It's time for an actual guy to show up in that uniform. And I haven't seen it, and I watched every minute. I don't know if you've seen it. I don't know if our listeners have seen it. But I'll tell you what, this guy's got an 8-year deal here, and he's part of this thing whether you like it or not. So let's go, buddy. Show up and become part of this thing.
Yeah. I look at him and many other guys, but yeah, like for his skill set, okay, what are you bringing? And the only thing that I was kind of like, well, geez, I got one goal. Guys don't want to fight guys with one goal. I'm like, pardon? Right?
Yeah.
Like what? Like how many fighters? We know you're not a fighter, but fighters like Matt Rempe has way more penalty minutes than he has points. He has more fights than he has points. Like, give me a break. Like and here's the thing, Spec. We both know if you want to find a fight, if you're at the bar and you really want to get in a fight, you'll get in a fight. Right? I knew a few guys I grew up with, and I was just like, you're an idiot. But guess what? I feel like I'm going to fight. And he would find a fight. If you want to find a fight in the NHL, you can find it. You might have to try harder. Right? You might have to really annoy someone, but you can do it. Don't give me the excuse that you can't find one, because guess what? I haven't seen you really go asking, hey, do you want to fight? That's nothing. Go out there, hit someone, scrum it up, give him a face wash, go by the bench, chirp him, do something. But just saying, I asked him, like, excuse me, sir, would you like to have a fight? Like, what are we talking about?
Well, to me, that's it. It's not about starting a fight. It's about playing the kind of game where a fight finds you, right? Get out there and drill Landeskog. Get out there and stand over that goalie and get out there and push a defenseman back into his net, right? Stand in the crease after the whistle blows and don't move for a while, right? Be over top a goalie. Drill somebody a little bit late once in a while. Don't worry, man. You'll get your fights. Like, I don't care if he fights. Fighting in the game today is almost irrelevant. I'm not a guy that's living in 1975. Fights, who cares? But play that way and fights will happen. Like, that's still inevitable in our game, even though there's not much fighting. But he's not even crossing the first letter of that list off, man. He's not standing over a goalie. He's not hitting anyone. He's not, targeting their better players. He's not pushing after a whistle. He's a very tame player. Fights aren't going to find that guy, right? The way he's playing, they're not going to find that guy.
Yes. Completely agree. So we'll see where they go tonight. The Blue Jackets, they're always a scrappy team. They're rarely the most skilled team, but they work hard. Now they got some guys who are sick, but the one good thing for Edmonton, McDavid's Amherst almost 2 points a night against Columbus. Columbus penalty kill is awful. Their power play is dreadful right now. But Nugent Hopkins, Spec, I think he's been, if you had to give me right now through 16 games, best Oilers, I would have Nugent Hopkins number one on my list. He's been the most consistent player night in and night out, I think, for Edmonton. And he's now out. The coach said a week, which means it's probably multiple weeks based on what we've heard from other injuries. So, but I think that's a pretty big loss for the Oilers.
Oh, for sure it is. He does a lot of stuff. He's on both special teams, and he plays on the first or second line every single night. So, yeah, there's, you know what? Like, I look at Draisaitl and McDavid, and I'm asking, what the heck are they even doing on the PK? That's something that should get spread around, but not Nugent Hopkins. He's good at it, and he's been doing it a long time. He should be on the PK. So, yes, for sure. Losing him, he's one of those guys, Jay, that when he's in there, sometimes you kind of forget about him because he's a pretty, he's a slick, quiet guy that just gets the job done. When he falls out of the lineup, all of a sudden you go, hey, wait a second, how come this isn't working so well anymore? Right? And, we'll see if they find that tonight. But, Nuge is a bigger part of this thing than most people give him credit for sure.
I think a big reason why, Draisaitl and McDavid. Now, they weren't that much on the penalty kill. I looked. They were only like a minute in, and you mentioned all the penalty kill they had. But there's only a handful of forwards, Spec. Joel Armia, McDavid, Draisaitl, Cole Sillinger, and Valerie Nichushkin, Lehkonen as forwards who have played at least 15 minutes. And if I bump it up to 20, it's even shorter, who haven't been on the ice for a goal against. So McDavid and Draisaitl on the penalty kill have basically been perfect. They haven't been on the ice for one goal against, and they do have one goal. Now, it was an empty netter, so, maybe don't count that as much. But when I look at their minutes played, man, amongst forwards, like the whole goal of penalty killing is to not get scored on. Well, then you can argue they've been their two best penalty killers. So I see why the coach is still using them. I did notice Noah Philp at 4.5 minutes last game. So maybe the coach is like, God, even though they're that good and their penalty kill is pretty good, I'm going to start changing. And I think that was part of his reasoning was the penalty kill's been awful for the last few years. And he's even said it. The two best penalty killers are McDavid and Draisaitl because of their instincts and how they anticipate. And the numbers back it up, right? Like they haven't been on the ice for like a goal against. And look, they played 22 minutes each. They've only been outshot 12-7 spec on the penalty kill. So it's hard. That's the one. It's hard for me to critique the coach using them when they're basically have been perfect on the penalty kill and 20 minutes is not like a small sample size really at this stage, right? Like there's not a lot of guys playing 20 minutes who have yet to be on the ice for a goal against as forwards.
Oh, well, that's fair. The numbers don't lie, and maybe I'm wrong, but I base my opinion on something that Knobloch did when he first showed up here, and that was to give guys assignments and make them part of the team. And now maybe he would say to you or to me, I don't have enough of that personnel. I don't have enough guys that I can trust killing penalties. So that's why I got to use these guys. And if that's how he feels, then he should talk to Stan Bowman. That's Stan Bowman's job. But I'll tell you where I come from is the old trap around this team. And that's anytime something happens, we got to count on 97 and 29 getting out of it. We need a goal, they play. You got a power play, they play. Now you have a penalty kill, they play. There's too little responsibility for the rest of the guys. They're sitting on the bench watching the two superheroes solve every problem. We've been down this road in this town, Jay, a million times, and it is not the solution. I'm not disputing your PK numbers, but I want a team where I got guys who kill penalties, and I don't need to lean on my same two guys to solve every problem for me, because that hasn't worked around here either. You got to admit that.
Yeah. So that it's true, right? In other forms, but to me on the penalty kill, it's working. I did see last game though, like they kind of came the third pair. They only were out for 1 minute and 20 seconds each in that game. And that's probably because there was a lot of power play time, right? Like they had a lot of power play time. So I think some games they're penalty killing spec because they're only getting 1 or 2 power plays anyway. It's not like they're, overplaying them on the power play and then overplaying them on the penalty kill. And because it's working and right now when you can't score, you got to do anything in your power to limit goals. So I get it. And honestly, against this power play of Columbus isn't very good. So you know what? Maybe Noah Philp and those other guys get more time, but with Nugent Hopkins out, I'm not sure you're going to see them come out off the penalty kill that much because Mangiapane hasn't worked at all. Like he's gotten scored on way too much on the penalty kill. So I wonder if that's why Philp is on it now. And I'm sure Janmark's back in. He should be a no-brainer to be on the penalty kill. So there are some guys, at least Janmark can take Nugent Hopkins' spot on a penalty kill and not feel like it's a real big step down.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. You missed, this is one of those guys, you miss Janmark maybe more than you think you would. Like when I saw that fourth line come out the other day with Howard and Savoy on the wings and Tomaszek at center, I'm here to tell you that fourth line is not getting you anywhere in the National Hockey League. Like that is not a National Hockey League fourth line. Those are not players that should be made into checking guys. Those are not players that are fourth liners got to kill penalties for you, right? Like my fourth liner's got to be a big part of my PK. If I have a proper team, those guys aren't. That was an abomination. I get it. The coach only has so many players. So this isn't me critiquing Knobloch, but when I looked at that lineup with that line as their fourth line, a Euro with 12 games under his belt and 2 really small skill guys, that Stan Bowman's got to get to work here. That fourth line ain't going to cut it, man. No chance.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Looking at the Hockey Hall of Fame tonight, this class spec from the NHLers that are going in there, and obviously, Botterill and Brandon Decker, there's no one really complaining about them. I haven't heard anybody saying, well, geez, McGillney didn't deserve to be in. Thornton, I'm not sure. Keith, I'm not sure. Char, like this is a pretty star-studded group this year going into the Hall.
Oh, yeah. I mean, McGillney's been the one guy people have questioned several years now. And now he doesn't show up at the Hall of Fame. Like, I'm not going to cast judgment. I hope that everything's okay. But for all the years he's had to get in, I thought we'd see him here. Jumbo is one of the great passers in the history of hockey. Like, there's no one's questioning Joe Thornton. Chara was, in his generation, one of the great defensemen, won a Stanley Cup, just an unbelievably top player. And who am I missing? The fourth guy?
Duncan Keith, Chara.
There you go, Duncan Keith.
Yeah.
Say more. 3 Stanley Cups, legitimate number 1 defenseman, played 1,200 games, won a Conn Smythe. I believe he won a Norris. That's
multiple. Actually won multiple.
Yeah, multiple Norrises. No brainer, man. This is a class of no controversy. I'm pretty sure of that one.
Yeah. And like really competitive guys, Spec, when you look at them and how they played, which is no surprise. There's very few Hall of Famers that weren't that competitive when you think about it. But I look at the Oilers and the thing I'm going to watch for all week, not just one game, is where's their competitiveness at? Leon's quote today, I thought made it goes, hey, you don't need guys to play their best hockey now, but you need guys to have their B+ game. And then some nights, two guys will have their A game and the rest. And if most guys can have their B+ game, well, now we're going in the right direction.
Yep.
There's very few nights you could look and say, more than a few guys even had their B+ game going.
Well, this is why, a question that I've been asking a lot last couple of days around here is, can you have a team game if your individual players are all playing this far below what you expect them to play? Like Frederick, part of the Oilers' identity in their team game is, you always have a couple guys that are supposed to be physical. They don't have many. He's supposed to be one of them. So if he doesn't do it, they're majorly in arrears in their physical game. If Darnell Nurse is a 22, 23-minute defenseman, if he's not defended, they're not counting on him for points at all. They're counting on him to keep pucks out and make this own end a hard place to play. If he's not doing that, their defensive game is a mess. Like they're counting on Ekholm to be the Seabrook to Bouchard's Keith. Like, be a defender. And when Bouchard goes or makes a mistake, you got to cover up for that guy. That's part of his mandate. And if he's not doing it, then your whole team doesn't work that well. So, I totally hear what Draisaitl's saying here, but it starts with each guy being a better version of himself. Then you got a chance of making this team look like we thought it was going to look when the season started.
Yeah. And we'll see how it goes, Spec. It's been an interesting week to me. They got Columbus, then you got Philly and Columbus. It's not like you got Murderers Row this week whatsoever for the Edmonton Oilers. So they have an opportunity here to right the ship, and they got to start digging themselves out now. I don't believe that Saturday was guaranteed rock bottom. That's not a guarantee, because you know what? They could easily, play one good game and then lose two in a row, and all of a sudden you're right back to where you were. So, you know what? You got Columbus, Philly, Columbus, Carolina, Buffalo, their next 5 games. Like, outside of Carolina, you're not battling top dogs here. So this might be a little bit of a soft spot in the schedule if the Oilers decide to show up and play. If they don't, this could be a run here that really puts them in a deep hole. And then they got to be scrambling just to get out of it.
Yeah, never mind the rest of the week. They got to win tonight. Columbus beats them in Columbus fairly regularly by my memory. I've been to the last 3 or 4 games I've been to Columbus. Edmonton lost. So, you know what? The Columbus isn't just going to walk in here and say, okay, the Oilers got smoked last game, so they're going to win tonight. They're not saying that. You got to beat Columbus. So let's go. Let's see what you got. It's bounce back time. So let's see if you got a team that's going to bounce back here, Jay.
I know exactly what they're saying in Columbus's room is, guys, these guys might be fragile. Let's get up on them.
Fragile.
Right? 100%. That's what you're going to be saying. Anybody who's ever played any sport, when you played a team, hey, be leery of them, but boys, they could be a little fragile here. Let's jump on them. That's what you want. You want to get up on them and see if they can play from behind, or if it's like, here we go again. Right. And that's when you're losing. That's the challenge becomes as much of a mental battle as it does anything else.
Get your early shots in on Skinner and give him a chance to let one in he doesn't like and the rest of the team doesn't like. That's what you're doing if you're Columbus. And if you're Edmonton, you know what? This is a game that Skinner's got to show guys like me that we're full of garbage and that he is a guy that can do it, because we haven't seen him do it much. Tonight's the night for Stu Skinner. He gets his start. It's a big start for Stu Skinner, Jay.
Spec, we'll see you down at the rink, my man. Have a good one.
All right.
That's Mark Spector, the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. We got Walker and Paulson filing in for the pregame show. Anybody driving on the West End, there's a big fire. That's why it reeks, in case you're wondering. So probably don't roll your window down. I love Declan. He's like, oh, man, it stinks in here. I'm going to go outside for some fresh air. Comes back. No, it's a little bit better inside here. So, it is. God, I don't know what it is, but it does not smell good at all. So, hey, Gregor, didn't they lose to Columbus last year, Monday night, 6-0 on Prime from Garrett? Oof. Garrett,
6-1.
6-1. Good memory, Garrett. It was close. Now, that's the game McDavid got hurt, though, in like the first few minutes of the game, did he not? Pretty sure that was.
Think so, yeah.
In Columbus, too. So, not in Edmonton, but yeah, that was, Monday's Prime Columbus Oilers, obviously, the last thing they want is an injury. They just want to play better. All right, that wraps up the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Remind you can always get in the game, PlayAlberta.ca, where you can do live dealer, lottery, instance, casino, and all the sports games, NHL, Monday Nighter. Check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. We got Walker and Paulson in the pregame show coming up next on Sports 1440.
At Papa John's, our butter chicken pizza is a Canadian favorite, and we think we know why.